Hello, YouTubers, and welcome back to the Ohio Patriot Education Network channel. For today's episode of Wargaming 2022, we're going to talk about why Allison Russo, current state rep, should be arrested, and many other things relating to that. And mind you, this is the same stupid fucking cunt. And I'm going to go ahead and grab a picture right now. Oops, sorry. I was trying to grab a picture of, change my avatar here. Allison Russo is a stupid fucking cunt on your screen right now. In my little avatar there. God, the scowl on that woman's face. Fucking just pieces of shit, dude. This is the fucking woman, by the way, who in May of 2021 legitimately took a fucking bribe from Moms Demand Action on camera at the Ohio State House. She walked in with her fucking coffee and got handed a big fucking fat envelope, mostly full of cash, by a Moms Demand Action member while they were doing constitutional carry legislation in the House Oversight Committee. So that's the first reason why she should be arrested. She should also be arrested for many other reasons, including 3 days after the Dayton massacre, being the fucking primary sponsor of Bloomberg created red flag legislation. Bloomberg created mag ban legislation, etc. there, which actually, now I'm thinking about it, wasn't the mag, she wasn't the one that mag banned, it was one of her buddies, Adam Miller, who is actually the primary of the God, what do they call it now? Universal background check. And then it was the other douchebag, Casey Weinstein, who was behind the mag bans. But even still, she was the main fucking cunt who 2 times now, in both the 2019-2020 General Assembly and the 2021-2022 General Assembly, has now been the primary sponsor of ERPO's red flag laws, whatever you want to call them, dude. And again, when you're trying to deprive Ohioans of our constitutional rights, Allison, your bitch ass should be in an Ohio prison for the rest of your fucking days, bitch. And we're going to talk about exactly why, other reasons why this bitch should also be tossed out for fucking, she should have been tossed out of this race, actually, for like a year ago, basically. She was running in a special election, mind you, when she took that money, potentially, from Mama's Main Action. She was running in a special primary for U.S. Congress against now Congressman Mike Carey, who was a Trump-backed candidate, and thank God she lost that fucking race. But even that, like I was talking to my state rep Reggie Stolfus a while ago about this whole thing, and I was talking to him about reducing legislation for running for higher office, that kind of thing is what it is. And it's like, this is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people like Allison Russo, dude. When she was running for special election, she should have been gone from the General Assembly, dude, period. She should have been gone. She should have been disqualified for running the General Assembly ever again is what it is. And the same exact fucking shit right now that we're seeing in this current election cycle right now, where you have fucking 4 or 5 Democrats trying to flip from the state house to the state fucking Senate, and you have a couple more trying to flip from the state Senate to the state house, like that fucking cunt bag piece of fucking shit, Cecil Thomas, who's a black supremacist little asswipe, who should have been tossed out of our fucking General Assembly back in 2020 when he wanted to bitch and moan about fucking masks and people not wearing fucking masks and shit. And oh my God, my fucking daughter is autoimmune compromised and shit. Like, don't be in the fucking state house, an asshole. Don't be in the fucking General Assembly at all, douchebag. Resign fucking office. And the same thing to Allison Russo and the rest of these fucking Democrat pieces of shit that were behind every piece of anti-gun legislation in this entire fucking state for the past 3.5 fucking years right now. And the exact reason why I am now a constitutionalist and I am now a Second Amendment advocate and activist for our fucking rights in this state. And why, if it wasn't for Ohioans for Firearms Freedom and Ohio Patriot Education Network, we would not actually have constitutional carry right now. Because we are 100% one of the main culprits of the people that were able to get shit done to get that stuff in our state house, dude. Anyway, moving on. We're going to talk about a piece of article that I found a couple weeks ago when I was looking up. I was trying to find some other stuff for doing the 99 state house seats for this coming election cycle, and then I was going to do the state senate seats that are up for election as well, then is what it is, and just basically go over like 100 and whatever it is there, and discuss how things might fall for the 2023 Ohio General Assembly then, but haven't gotten a chance to figure out stuff yet because I was trying to find the numbers for primaries and stuff like that, because I was going to go directly off primary numbers and stuff like that to say how, left or right or center or whatever it is, or toss up the districts are and shit like that. So unfortunately, I haven't been able to get a chance to do that yet. So the one that I set for later today is probably going to be set again for tomorrow then, as a new wargaming then. But basically, what we're going to discuss today, though, is the following article, which is GOP officials in a collegiate political scandal could nix Dems' ballot slot in Southeast Ohio. So here's my biggest problem with this whole thing right now. Apparently, according to this article, and I did not know this until now, the way that Ohio law states is the main two parties in this state, which would be Democrat, Republican, which is how our fucking primaries always work, even though there's libertarians and Green Party people and independents all over this fucking state that don't vote Republican or Democrat for that matter. And yet we're still a two-party system. It's absolute bullshit, dude. And it's even more bullshit that my political party, the Internet Libertarian Party, which is one of the better libertarian parties, by the way, is not recognized in the state either because of that crap. And if I ever do run for office, by the way, I'd run as a Republican, but I'd be the first Internet Libertarian candidate to become an actual whatever, state senator, state rep, governor, whatever it is then. So anyway, but yeah, supposedly what it is you can actually have a candidate of either Democrat or Republican party. If they would win a primary and then drop out of the race, they can shift somebody else in there that didn't even fucking run in the damn thing, dude. Like, how is that even fair or right for that matter, dude? That's how the fuck is that even legal? Is what it is. You're literally talking about taking a horse that was not even in the fucking race to begin with. The race is like halfway over because the primaries were already done. Oh, let's just flip out this fucking shittier candidate for this better candidate now is what it is, dude. Fuck that shit. Fuck that shit entirely. And that's what pisses me off so much about the fucking them flip-flopping people in the General Assembly for that matter either, dude. When you had Janine Boyd and Stephanie House, two other black supremacists, going up for specifically House went for Cleveland City Council is what it was. She's now a Cleveland City Councilwoman. When she left our state house for that position, and when Janine Boyd did something similar, and they were replaced by people for the Democrat Party is what it was, like leadership like Russo and stuff like that replaced them with other people is what it was, dude. No, fuck that. That should be a special election immediately, and you should not have the ability to just fucking shift some random ass piece of shit Democrat into that fucking seat anymore, dude. No, fuck that. It needs to be a special election, and it needs to be people being able to run for that special election in any party in this fucking state. I don't care if it's Democrat, Republican, Libertarian, Green Party, what the fuck ever, dude. Independent, doesn't really matter. All across the board, man. There should be people being able to run the special election race is what it is. But anyway, for those interested, this is Secretary of State Frank LaRose right here in this picture. This is the scumbag who is actually would go down along with Allison Russo and a shitload of other Democrats and Republicans in our state house right now in a giant bribery scandal for HB6. Because, by the way, what took down Larry Householder for HB6 would also take down Mike DeWine, John Husted, Frank LaRose, Allison Russo, Cecil Thomas, Kent Smith, and every other fucking Democrat, including Casey Weinstein, in the whole thing, as well as a bunch of other fucking rhinos like Bob Seitz and shit like that. Or not Bob Seitz, Bill Seitz and shit like that, dude. I was thinking of Bob Peterson, and actually was the other guy. But yeah, it would legit take down, like, I would say a good, like, 2/3 of our General Assembly right now would go down on the bribery scandal stuff if we were actually investigating shit the proper way. But we're not, and that's the problem right now. So yeah, when people talk about me being supposedly, like, right-wing or whatever the case be, or, just anti-Democrat, nah, dude. I'm anti-fucking criminal is what it is, and I hate both major parties in this fucking state because we're all full of scumbag fucking rhino sacks of shit who are career politicians like that fucking cunt Kirk Shearing, who, by the way, I could have primaried this year if these fucking sacks of shit on social media companies didn't censor me for fucking 6 months of this damn year, and I could have actually gotten the fucking ballot for the fucking primary election, dude. Which, by the way, was then delayed because of fucking stupid cunts, again, like this fucking piece of shit, Allison Russo, who decided, Ohio is too gerrymandered red. Let's sue the fucking state about it and use our Moms Demand Action people to do it. No, fuck you, cunt. We are not a gerrymandered state. Ohio very much is, a mostly red state at this point, and it's been proven for years now because people are sick and tired of fucking Democrats like you who are nothing but career fucking criminals and have been fucking us over and have been fucking over our constitutional rights to keep and bear arms and the right to free speech and everything else like that for fucking decades, you fucking cunt. Yeah, we're sick and tired of you, Allison Russo, you fucking bitch. Like, honestly, and I've said it before, dude, like, Russo and all these other people are the exact reason why I would love to see a piece of legislation that the second that you can prove that they committed a crime, they have to go into fucking trials by combat against you. And you can legally fist fight their fucking asses, dude. And it would be one of the, honestly, I guarantee you would see a fuck ton of people resign because they're like, I'm not going to get into fights with these people or whatever the case be. Because, they get their asses kicked is what it is, dude. And that's the entire point. Because they know that they're scumbag criminals that don't want to actually fight you is what it is. But anyway, it's talking about the following articles were from Ohio Capitol Journal and some other places here. It says, an Athens County Democrat filed a lawsuit last week, which is be like 3 weeks ago at this point. It said asking Ohio Supreme Court to reverse a decision by the Republican Secretary of State, Frank LaRose, which is the guy in the picture there, to allow her on the ballot in the Southeast Ohio House District. Story of the ballot fight includes a scandal in Ohio University State Senate, a primary election delayed by, quote, Ohio's messy redistricting clash. What they really mean is Democrats suing, which they go fuck themselves on that one, dude. And again, I'd also like to point out that if it wasn't for Allison Russo literally bribing Supreme Court Justice Maureen O'Connor, who's going to be termed out at the end of the year due to age limits, we wouldn't have fucking O'Connor siding with the Democrats to fuck over our fucking primaries, dude. And I guarantee you, if there was an investigation open today, that fucking envelope full of cash that Russo took from Mom's Demand a little over a year ago now, went directly to O'Connor's ass, dude. I guarantee that's what happened there. And that's exactly when Maureen O'Connor went full fucking rhino cunt and decided to be a bitch and basically be like, no, I'm going to go ahead and side with the Democrats and fuck over your maps every single time now and delay your fucking primary like months and months to now where the Ohio taxpayers had to pay another $20 million for a second primary on August 2nd instead of just having one single primary on May the 3rd is what it was, dude. So, yeah, fucking Democrats, dude. And I'll tell you what, and the rhino sacks of shit that fucking love to suck their dicks is what it is. But anyway, this is a Democrat, going back there, this is Ohio's distinct clash, a Democrat resignation after winning an uncontested race, and some of the finer points of election law. So the result is Jay Edwards, a 3-term Republican incumbent, currently running unopposed in one of the more competitive districts in Ohio's general election, November general election. So this is where I talked about earlier. This is Ohio law allows the two major political parties, which is absolute bullshit, dude, because again, it doesn't allow libertarians to have that fucking ability, it doesn't allow Green Party people to have that ability, doesn't allow random, independent candidates to have that kind of ability. So why the fuck do Democrats and Republicans get special privileges here? It's fucking bullshit, dude, entirely. And that's what I'm saying. Like, this is a piece of shit law that needs to be completely tossed out the fucking window right now entirely, dude. But yeah, so Ohio law allows two major political parties to replace candidates who win after primaries, withdraw after primaries. Democrat Party chose Tanya Conrath, a Southeast Ohio native, attorney, and nonprofit leader. I guarantee she's some BLM terrorist, dude, is what it is. To fill a hole left by the victor who dropped out. And why did that person drop out, by the way? We'll talk about that in a minute here. It says Republicans on Athens County Board of Elections, however, objected, leaving the matter tied 2-2. Ohio Secretary of State Frank LaRose, a Republican responsible for casting the deciding vote, voted against allowing that Tanya woman on the ballot, as he should, by the way. He said because Ryan Goodman, a Democrat candidate who won an uncontested primary, resigned before officials formally counted the vote and certified his victory, then the law doesn't guarantee the Democrats the right to replace a candidate. It shouldn't anyway, dude. That's the entire point. The entire law is fucking bullshit entirely, dude. That entire law should be fucking taken out of our state constitution entirely, bro. The Ohio Revised Code, it should be rewritten now to remove that shit entirely, dude. Or if you're going to have that crap in there, allow it for every party, not just the fucking main two parties, dude. Because it's a bunch of crap entirely, dude. So, anyway. Let's see here now. It says, quote, they're trying to cheat their way into giving incumbent GOP rep Jay Edwards an opponent uh, not giving incumbent opponent and not giving voters a choice, claimed that Tanya woman in an interview. So I would say that Tanya's trying to cheat her way into the fucking State House right now, dude. I'm gonna say it like it is. And I wouldn't be surprised there's a lot of fuckery going on in the next month and a half in this country, dude, when it comes to election cycles and shit. So, yeah. Democrats love to do what they have to do, man, to get in office. Same thing with Rhino Sacks of shit, man. Anyway, continuing on with this article, though, it says, issue traces back to February when Goodman, a 19-year-old Ohio University student, filed to run in Ohio's 94th Ohio House District using his dorm as his filing address. In a matter of weeks, however, Goodman met his first brush with political scandal, not via state politics, but with the Ohio University State Senate. Said Goodman filed impeachment for allegations that he lodged false accusations in an anonymous letter against the student treasurer and encouraged other student senators to accuse her of intimidation, according to the student publication, The New Political. Goodman resigned just before his trial was set to start. How much you want to bet that this Ryan Goodman kid was a fucking Antifa member, dude? And a college-age commie is what it is, dude. And again, this is why I've said for fucking years now, when it comes to Ohio politics, dude, 21 should be the minimum age to run for our state house, 25 for our state senate and governorship. Because it's a bunch of shit, dude. You're 18, 19 years old. Go fuck off, kid. It's the same thing with that little fucking douchebag Sam Lawrence, who's currently running against Sarah Carruthers in one of these state house races. What it is, dude. This little cock-sucking cunt is one of these fucking anti-gun sacks of shit from the David Hogg generation of fucking March for Our Lives little asswipes who bought and paid his entire fucking campaign, which in of itself should disqualify Sam Lawrence from the fucking running, dude, because he's literally bought up by anti-gunners, just like that fucking cunt Allison Russo, who's bought up by Moms Man Action and fucking baby killers at Planned Parenthood, who are funding her entire fucking campaign. No, it's time to start disqualifying these fucking pieces of shit from office entirely, dude, and it's as simple as that, honestly. And it starts with anything where you're running on a fucking platform of being anti-gun, you're out of the fucking race entirely, dude. You're running against any other constitutional right that American citizens have, you're fucking done, bro. Get the fuck out of here. But anyway. Continues on here and says, in the fallout, going back to that Goodman kid, says in the fallout of some, quote, mistakes that might have been made, Goodman drifted away from the Ohio House race, according to Athens County Democrat primary chairman Sean Parsons. In the ramp-up to the primary, Goodman had no campaign website, no social media, and did not respond to phone calls from a reporter. He won 100% of the vote with 1,174 votes cast in the August 2nd primary. Regardless, 6 days after he won the election, but before county officials formally certified his win, Goodman withdrew his name from contention for the November election. He did not respond to calls or emails. So here's my problem with that entirely, dude. If the dude was already basically out of the race before the fucking race was had, why the fuck was his name still on the ballot? That's a fuck up on everybody's part on that one, dude. This dude should have been tossed off the ballot entirely, dude. There should have not been a Democrat primary in that fucking district at all. Or if there was going to be, it should have been whoever the fuck else could have been on there, dude. And this is the problem when you have to have X amount of people as your party affiliation or whatever to even run on the fucking ballots, dude. Because right now, for state house and state senate and stuff like that here in Ohio, it's like 50 people that you have to have that are certified, guaranteed, or whatever. The problem with that is, it's not just you going out and getting 50 signatures of like Democrat, Republican, whatever it is, dude. It's you having to go out there and have lists of 20 people per thing. And if even one name on that list of those 20 gets rejected, they throw out the entire page, which is absolute bullshit entirely. Because that means there's 19 good signatures on there that get fucked over because of fucking pieces of shit wanting to screw you over or whatever the case be, or you're going out there and collect the signatures or whatever the case be. You have some dickhead write like, D's nuts or something like that as their fucking name and shit, and then they just completely fucked over your entire page at that point, dude. Yeah, it's just a bunch of little asswipe fucking trolls that can fuck you like that, dude. And it's a bunch of shit entirely. And that's why you've had a lot of good people that have not been able to make ballots because of that crap, dude, because that stupid signature rule is what it is. Which in reality, if they want to do something correctly, they should be changing that shit entirely, dude. And I would even go as far as to say, even with after the fact for like primaries and stuff like that, you should still have to only get 50 signatures or whatever the case be to run for fucking ballots and stuff like that for general elections, dude. Not like 5,000, 6,000, whatever the hell it's supposed to be then after that then. I know for governor, it's like at least 5,000 to 10,000 votes is what it is, dude. Voters of the party you're trying to run for is what it is then. Again, that's why I didn't run for governor, because I couldn't get the fucking signatures is what it was, dude. So, but anyway. And this is where stupid Allison Russo comes in here. It says, State Rep Allison Russo, the ranking House Democrat, defended the lack of fail-safe candidates in the race. She said candidate recruitment is difficult in districts that weren't finalized at the time, some of which were later found to be unconstitutional gerrymanders. Fuck you, cunt. First of all, here's an interesting part, dude. Here's a really interesting thing. Y'all remember I talked about Adam Miller on this channel before, dude. The guy who was basically trying to run as a fucking Republican for a little bit there. He actually was listed as a Democrat in this primary, though. But here's a fun fact for you. Back in June or July of this year, about a month or so before the actual second primary, Adam Miller and Allison Russo should have been fighting each other for a fucking district seat, dude. But yet they somehow were able to cuck shit out to where she reigned in number 6, he reigned in number 7 is what it was. For state house seats is what it was, dude. No, they should have both been running in the 6th district, and it should have been one of these two assholes primarying the other out in the fucking primary election, dude. Just like those two fucking cunts, Monique Smith and Beth Liston, I believe is what it was. I think that's who it was that were running against each other. I forget exactly which one it was offhand. I know Monique Smith lost to whoever it was that actually won that one. Bride Sweeney, that's who it was. Yeah, Monique Smith and Bride Sweeney. By the way, Monique Smith and Bride Sweeney are the other two fucking piece of shit cunts that were the secondary primary fucking people on the anti-gun stuff with Allison Russo in the last two General Assemblies. In 2019, it was Bride Rose Sweeney that was on there with Allison Russo for red flags. And in 2021, it was Monique Smith. So it was the most recent one that was anti-red flag, that was anti-gun sack of shit and total for red flags and other crap like that got her ass booted after one fucking term, dude. And thank fuck for that shit, dude. Like I said, Russo's bitch ass needs to fucking go in this thing. She should be arrested already at this point, dude. Federally. But anyway, it says, what Democrat would step into the uncertainty knowing Republicans control the game? Question mark. What a bunch of bullshit questions on that one, dude. Like, that is such a fucking loaded question. First of all, you're not fucking controlling the game, you jackasses. What she is bitching and moaning about is how Ohioans for the past 10 fucking years now have said, fuck you, Democrat Party. We're sick and tired of your fucking baby-killing bullshit. Something that, by the way, Nan Whaley and Amelia Sykes are both trying to run on for their respective races, with that fucking cunt Nan Whaley trying to run for governor, who should have been disqualified based on the fact that she committed 450 plus days of tyranny against Dayton, Ohio when she was mayor there and locked them fucking down for over a year and a half of their lives. And that fucking bitch Amelia Sykes, who's a lying fucking sack of shit black supremacist fucking cunt. Her bitch ass went full anti-gun. Dude, I'll tell you what. Madison Jesse also Gilbert, if she had the balls right now, dude, go to the Ohio channel and start downloading some of the shit that Amelia Sykes has said in our state house and fucking attack this bitch in the next 30 days before the general election, lady. Because there is enough evidence right there to where Sykes should have been thrown out of our fucking state house a year and a half ago for the crap that she has pulled, dude. And the fact that Cupp didn't gavel her fucking ass out of the fucking state house and in there, dude, is exactly why Bob Cupp is a fucking cuck ass bitch. And thank fuck he's fucking termed out right now, dude. And it can be run for re-election again or become speaker again is what it is. Which, by the way, I'd like to point something out. Even with Larry Householder being the fucking sack of shit fucking bribed criminal that he is and was thrown out of the state house because of that shit, dude, he was a great fucking speaker and he was actually pro 2A, dude. And like I said, when you literally have like 50 fucking members of the state house that are also fucking criminals who should have gone down with Householder, including Bob Cupp and including fucking Amelia Sykes, like, dude, come on now, let's fucking do this already, feds. Get your asses in here. Start fucking investigating. Goddamn. Like, y'all wasted 6 days on me, dude, in fucking 2019 in the federal swatting thing. You could have been spending those 6 days investigating state officials and actually gotten real fucking investigations going and gotten real fucking charges against real fucking criminals. But no, you go with the low-hanging fruit because you're a bunch of fucking douchebags. Jesus fuck. Anyway, continuing on with stupid cunt Allison Russo here, it said she claimed the party developed, quote, some concerns about Goodman in the spring, but there was little to be done without a certain election date or district lines to go off. No, there wasn't, dumb bitch. You could have told that Goodman kid to go fuck off, and you could have replaced him then, you dumb hoe. Anyway, it said Conroth, Russo said, followed the rules, and the Republicans are just afraid of competition. Says the woman who is literally running unopposed, by the way. Let me go ahead and grab that up real quick now. I'm thinking about it, dude. I'm going to go grab our... where's it at here now? Shit. I think I clicked on the wrong one here. Yeah, let me grab it up here in a different page real fast. Yeah, shit, where are we at now? I'm literally trying to find the friggin' thing right now for this. No, that's not it. Because I'm on the state senate page right now for this whole thing, and I'm really trying to find the state house one. Oh yeah, here we go. No, wait, no, that's not it. That would still be state senate. Damn it, where are we at here now? Let's see here now. Could just go to that, I guess, maybe, and see if that'll pop it up. Yeah, I'm gonna stop screen sharing for a sec here so we can get to the other side. And then let's see here now. Okay, that's special legislator. What the hell? That's not what I want. Okay, never mind. It was just, it went to the whole thing is what it was there. Okay, here we go. That's what I was looking for. All right, let me do another screen share here. Yeah, as I was saying with Allison Russo's bitch ass. Right fucking there, District 7, Allison Russo wins by default in her fucking primary. No Republican challenger, by the way. Yeah, you want to talk about gerrymander, Allison? Let's talk about fucking... I don't know if that even popped up or not. I'm thinking about it, dude. Let's see here now. Yeah, you want to talk about gerrymandering, Allison Russo? Let's talk about your specific district, bitch. Let's talk about District 7 there in one of the richest, whitest neighborhoods in the Columbus area, Upper Arlington, where you have only won because it is so gerrymandered blue, bitch. And that's the only reason you're in our state house at all right now. Yeah, I'm gonna point something out here. I noticed that too. The FDIY paramedic woman. Yeah, when I looked up Allison Russo today, that's what popped up was that chick, and it's like they're two different women entirely. That was a paramedic. This scally hoe right here is our state rep, Allison Russo. So, yeah, God, that fucking just, oh man. The crazy part is there's a dude who married this woman and has children with her. Like, why you would stick your dick in that kind of crazy, dude, like, is just beyond me. Like, oh my God, dude. Oh, Jesus. You know, like, it really is that bad, man. It really is that bad. Oh, God. Oh, Jesus. Oh, my Lord, man. But yeah, no, seriously, though. But going back to the story at hand here for this wargaming, though. let's see where we're at now. Yeah, Russo said that they had some concerns about the Goodman kid. Claimed that the other chick followed the rules and Republicans are afraid of competition. She said, quote, not surprisingly, Secretary LaRose once again put partisan interest over running fair elections and couldn't even cite any case law to support his decision. Yes, he did, you dumb bitch. It's literally like, what the fuck are you talking about with case law? Okay, Allison, let's talk about case law for a minute. Let's talk about case law there, Russo. What case law is there to strip Ohioans of our constitutional right to keep and bear arms by putting unconstitutional red flag laws into our legislature to become law? Something that not only breaks the First Amendment of the right to free speech, also breaks the Second Amendment of the right to keep and bear arms, the Fourth Amendment of legal search and seizure, the Fifth Amendment of self-incrimination, as well as the 6th, 8th, 9th, 10th, and 14th Amendments. Yeah. Red flag laws are some of the worst bullshit ever created in this entire country, dude. And they are so unconstitutional that they break almost the entire fucking Bill of Rights, as well as the 14th Amendment of the Constitution. And yet she wants to talk about fucking case law. This bitch doesn't know a fucking thing, dude. She sits, like, seriously, January 3rd, 2021, Allison Russo put her fucking hand to a U.S. Constitution and swore an oath to uphold the state constitution and the fucking U.S. Constitution, and broke her oath immediately the second that she submitted red flag legislation into our state house, dude. And every other thing that she submitted since then, dude, whether it be pro-abortion legislation to kill kids in the fucking womb, whether it be all kinds of other sick, disgusting shit along those lines to fucking make kids fucking transgender and stuff like that, dude. Which, by the way, that's the reason why Randy Clates ain't in our fucking state house anymore, dude, because that fucking cunt in 2020 was the one who was the main primary of basically allowing fucking kids to be indoctrinated with transgender bullshit and have fucking trans surgeries at like 10 years old. And then Randy wondered why she fucking lost her primary election, dude. And why she actually won her primary election that year. She lost in the general election, and that's why that seat flipped blue to Gail Palchvia, or how to pronounce your name is what it is, dude. And that's why Gail's now in our state house is what it is. And running for re-election. Hopefully Gail actually wins again, is what it is. But yeah, Randy is a sack of shit, and so is fucking Allison, dude. They are fucking demons. I've said it before, dude. I'll say it again. When I talked about it on my first Rumble Quake on Rumble there, we are literally fighting pure evil at this point, dude. Allison Russo, the scowly fucking cunt in the picture, is a fucking demon. This person is not human anymore, dude. I guarantee you Allison Russo made a Crossroads demon deal some time ago. And I would not be surprised legitimately if it was the same way with a lot of Democrats and rhinos in office right now, dude. If they made actual deals with demons to get power. And I mean that seriously. Hell, Hollywood tells us a lot of stuff, dude. Why would people think that Supernatural was just a TV series, dude? And then it wasn't telling the truth in some cases with the Crossroads demon deals. But anyway. Continuing back on, though. Says, deadlines. Ohio law allows, quote, a party candidate who withdraws from after a primary, but before a general election to be replaced by whomever party officials see fit. See, that's what's wrong to me entirely. That's what I think is absolute bullshit. And again, it's not only that, but it goes back to the fact that it's a two-party system. Because it's only Democrats and Republicans that can do this. It's not libertarians. It's not Green Party. It's not independents. It's not constitutional parties. Not anything else like that, dude. It's only Democrats and Republicans that can pull this shit, dude. Like, how is that fair to any quote-unquote minor party in this fucking state? It's not. That's the entire point. It's a bunch of shit, dude. Anyway, said this must be done by 4 p.m. on the 86th day before the general election, which is August 15th. Let's see. Primary elections are typically held in May. However, the Ohio Supreme Court reportedly found Republicans proposed redistricting maps to be unconstitutional partisan gerrymanders, which is a bunch of fucking lies and a bunch of horse shit, by the way. I love how they say course majority. What they really mean is you had 3 Democrats and you had Rhino Cunt and Reno Connor, who was out of office at the end of the year, basically be like, no, this is unconstitutional because it favors you guys, even though Ohio's a red state now. So although election date was changed, some of the relevant administrative deadlines did not. Conrath, who had been contacted by the party and urged to run, had until the August 15th date to file. Said Board of Elections didn't certify Goodman's victory until August 17th. Yeah, that's kind of shitty. I will give him that one. That I do find that to be kind of shitty, honestly. Because if you're not gonna, like, seriously, that is kind of messed up, dude. So our primary was on the 2nd of August, and they sat there and didn't certify this guy for 15 days. Like, what the hell is that shit? That ain't right. Like, you would think that would be like 5 days at most, dude. Anyway, so over Republicans on the Athens County Board of Elections argued that because Goodman wasn't certified at the time of chorus filing, the party therefore had no eligible candidate to replace. So Frank LaRosa agreed with this. Said, quote, as such, Ryan Goodman was not the official nominee and party candidate at the time of his withdrawal. He said in casting his tie-breaking vote, winning LaRosa that, so the Athens County Democrat Party could not replace him prior to the official certification on August 2nd, 2022 primary results. Said Conrath's lawsuit to the Supreme Court disputes the idea that the lack of certification means Conrath can't be chosen as a replacement. Again, like, okay, so here's my problem with this entire thing right now, right? If Tanya Conrath actually wanted to be in the state house and running this fucking race, why the fuck wasn't she in the primary to begin with, dude? No, she's a lazy fucking cunt who wants to sit there and be like, oh, well, I've got better things to do with my time. Oh, Allison Russo called me up and asked me to fucking run in this thing now? Okay, I'm just a scumbag like her anyway, so let me go ahead and jump in this fucking race now. That's what it really is, dude. It's, like I said, it's fucking Democrats trying to pull some bullshit again. Fucking Tanya Harding style and fucking Nancy Kerrigan your ass, dude. Halfway through the fucking competition is what it is. Although I'd like to point something out on that one, though. It wasn't actually Tanya Harding that smacked Nancy Kerrigan in the back of the leg. It was Tanya Harding's boyfriend and mother that did it. And Tanya maintains to this day that she never had anything to do with that. I don't know if that's true or not, though, but, you know, context in that one was it was actually people that were with Tanya Harding, not Tanya Harding herself, though. But, yeah. I actually look at Nancy Kerrigan, though, as kind of an Allison Russo type, if we're going to be serious with ourselves, because they're both rich white hoes is what it is, dude. These wasps. So, anyway. Yeah, said Conrath said the lack of idea beyond replacement. Said in court documents, he cites a similar case in 1992 in which a Republican candidate running for county recorder withdrew from the ballot after some primary votes were cast and his name was already printed on the ballot. Secretary of State at the time ordered against certifying the candidacy. So the Ohio Supreme Court reversed findings. Finding Board of Elections have a clear duty to count ballots cast for a candidate, even despite a quote on time of withdrawal for consideration. The court also held that candidacies retain vitality for some purposes, even after withdrawing. So LaRose, through a spokesman, did not respond to inquiries. Supreme Court ordered him to respond to court in chorus lawsuit by Wednesday, which would be a couple weeks ago is what it was. It said Edwards reached via text, did not respond when asked if he thought the court should let this woman run. Why would he, dude? Why would he? Why would he want her to run to begin with, dude? He's already in the fucking race. He's like, seriously, even if this Tanya woman ran, dude, I almost guarantee Jay Edwards is going to get a 4th term no matter what, dude, because he's already known is what it is. And that's the big thing about a lot of these races that I found out, dude. If you have a name, you're most likely going to win. If people already know who you are because you've been in the state rep for like 1 or 2 terms already or whatever, dude, or even longer for that matter, you're most likely going to win. It's why you have career politician pieces of shit like Kirk Shearing, who's been in Ohio's General Assembly for like 30 fucking years now, dude, keeps winning because everybody knows who the fuck he is and because almost nobody wants to primary his ass out. And like I said, I would have primaried that fucker if I could have gotten the fucking ballot this time around, dude. But because I was so heavily censored, I could never get a campaign off the ground. Anyway, continuing on with this, though, it said Parsons tentatively acknowledged that Democrats should have fielded another candidate for the race. However, he said the Chronic uncertainty given redistricting and the mishmash of deadlines weakened the process, and Republicans' reasoning, he said, didn't pass the smell test. That's a bunch of BS on that one. I think that Parsons guy was the one that was the Democrat chair for that county or whatever it was. It says Conrath said Conrath describes herself as a fifth-generation Appalachian. She was born and raised in Southeast Ohio and married a fellow native. After graduating Ohio University as an undergrad and Ohio State University for law school, she worked in a law practice in Athens. So she owns a home appraisals business, works as an associate director of Ohio University Initiative Center, works as an adult career center as well. That's what it really is. Like, seriously, you're already doing so much, lady. Why did you even want to run to begin with? Like, you got so much on your fucking plate already. Like, come on, man. And now we want, and again, like I said earlier, with her being a lazy bitch, it's not that she's lazy, dude. She's just fucking, like, overwhelmed is what I would say at this point, honestly. And it's like, this is the problem, though, dude, when it comes to political races and stuff, dude, and you potentially trying to run for office is what it is, man. Like, how much is that going to take precedent as your main thing is what it is compared to all these job things you're doing right now? Like, something's going to take the back burner, and you shouldn't even be a good fucking representative is what it is, man. Anyway, said she also served on nonprofit boards, including, quote, My Sister's Place and Planned Parenthood of Southeast Ohio. Of course it is, dude. Of course it's fucking Planned Parenthood that's funding this fucking cunt's fucking thing, dude, entirely. God, I hate these fucking people so much, dude. I really fucking hate them, dude. I really fucking hate them. She said she was invited to run after Goodman's resignation in August and made the decision. And filing in a whirlwind, she had previously toyed around with the idea of running, but the U.S. Supreme Court's decision to overturn the landmark ruling established for women. Okay. So you're like, this is what I hate about the Ohio fucking Journal thing that this is written off of, dude. So they're sitting there trying to claim that landmark ruling establishes women's constitutional right to abortion access cemented her decision. There is no constitutional right to kill kids in the womb, you stupid fucks at the Ohio Journal. There was never a like, seriously, dude, you want to talk about constitutionality, people? Read the fucking U.S. Constitution, where our founding fathers wrote down into it life, liberty, property. You can't have liberty or property without fucking life. God damn. Seriously. And to sit here and be like, oh, Roe versus Wade being overturned is what made me want to run for office. Then maybe your baby killing ass shouldn't be running for office, bitch. Fucking sick pieces of shit, dude. Seriously. Said, quote, Dobbs' decision on watching Ohio put in a 6-week abortion ban was the straw that broke the camel's back, according to Tanya. Fuck this fucking cunt, dude. Seriously. And then it says here, basically, that district gives the Republicans a 52-45 edge in random polling and stuff. No, that means they're going to win it, dude. It ain't no fucking 52-45, dude. It's probably more like 60-70, honestly, at this point. So, but yeah, it's just fucking ridiculous entirely. And actually, I'm going to go, now that I'm here, since we're not going to do the other one today and stuff, I'm going to go find specifically Jay Edwards' district there and figure out where he, what his actual race numbers were and stuff for this whole thing. Because like I said, the other guy won by, won 100% of the vote with like 1,100 voters or whatever it was, dude, in that primary. I guarantee you that Jay Edwards won by a hell of a lot more than that. Here it is. District 94 is where Edwards was at there. So let's go ahead and look at, actually, let's go ahead and look at a picture of Jay Edwards right now. This is what Jay Edwards looks like, is this picture here that's popping up from Ballotpedia. This is one of our current state reps right now. This guy's a 3-termer right now. So even if Jay Edwards gets into office for a 4th term here, dude, he's going to be gone in 2024 anyway. He's going to be out of he's going to be out of the state house entirely then, unless he runs for state senate and tries to flip-flop the thing again like everybody else is doing, seems like. Mostly Democrats, by the way. Let's point that one out. In this particular set of races this year and stuff, you have 4 different Democrats trying to run for state senate right now. Dude, they're already in our state house. They're termed out of our fucking state house, what it is. And you got like 2 other Democrats trying to flip from the state Senate to the state house is what it is, including that piece of shit Cecil Thomas. And then you got a couple Republicans trying to do the same thing, including that asshole Shane Wilkin who's trying to run for state Senate right now, even though he should be out of office entirely for fucking around with Ohio's constitutional carry for a year and a half and holding it up in fucking committee for over 7 months, dude. But anyway, yeah, let's see, going back here. Trying to see if it showed the actual. Okay, so this was Jay Edwards in 2020, winning by 31,584 to some woman named Katie, who had 20,719 votes. That was different. I don't know if that's. I don't think that's quite the same district. That was what it is. I was trying to figure out if it had their August 2nd things here. It just says their names on it. It doesn't actually say how many voters for either one of them. Come on, give me the fucking voter thing, dude. How hard is that? This is what I hate. This is what I was trying to find. This is why I was trying to wait a couple hours to do that other big one for the 99 seats and stuff like that, because it's such a pain in the ass to find these fucking numbers, dude, is what it is. But yeah, that Ryan Goodman guy is the one that's no longer in the ballot is what it is now. So really it's going to be Edwards running unopposed is what it would be then, dude. But even still, even if they have that tiny woman in there, dude, like if we judge it by even the 2020 numbers there, it's going to be pretty much the same. And I guarantee you Edwards won his primary by a lot is what it was, dude. Like even that, like if you go by those numbers from 2020 there, it's fucking like over 2,000 more for that primary versus that Katie woman, dude. And I guarantee it was something similar to that. That'd be the case in this go around. Because you think about, dude, think about it right there, dude. You had 5,000 something for her back in 2020. You only had 1,000 something people voting for this fucking Ryan guy in 2022 primary, dude. So you can't sit there and tell me that there's any kind of competitive race here at all, dude. Like, no, this is going to immediately flip Riz what's going to be, dude. And honestly, going by, see if I can find the actual, I got to go back on this now. Because I was going to go and talk about some stuff right now and try to do a few things here and there. Like, if you go by just incumbents right now, dude, in these races, which I'm going to do that right now, actually, for this rest of this episode. So you look at our 99 House districts right now in Ohio. You have, sorry, gotta do a couple things here. Okay, so you look at our House districts right now, and you look at the actual primary elections and stuff. So you have at least 2 Democrats in districts 1 and 2, which, by the way, are blue strongholds in major cities, specifically Columbus area, that are running unopposed, basically, in the general election, dude. So you have Dontavius Jarrells, who is a first-termer. You have Lanisha Humphrey, who is actually one of these people that was a replacement candidate for the Democrat Party. I believe it was back in like January, February this year. She replaced, I forget who it was that left the state house, is what it was, dude. But yeah, so she's not even really the incumbent. She replaced, where's that here now? It should say, I think, re-election. Okay. Just trying to find the thing right now. Where are you at? I swear to God, she was appointed here this year, but it's not saying who she replaced in that appointment, though. It's just talking about her running for re-election is what it is. That was the one thing with a couple of these chicks. She actually, years in position 0, so she was appointed this year at some point. And I have no idea who she replaced, actually. It was one of the chicks that was running for some other office in Columbus there, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I believe it was one of the anti-gunners that left office this year is what it was, dude, and she replaced them. Because I know it was 2 other chicks that replaced Janine Boyd and Stephanie House, respectively, then. And I want to say Humphrey specifically was put in this position because you had, I'm trying to remember what that woman's name is from our state Senate right now, who I think was out of the state Senate, and then she was trying to run for something else, and now she was trying to run for that seat again is what it was, and then not making the ballot then. Because she was basically trying to say Humphrey or one of these other chicks was basically a placeholder is what it was. So But yeah, so basically, if you go by that one, you have right now, with just those two alone, the Democrats have 2 seats already that they're going to keep. We got District 3, which is going to be Ismail Mohammed versus J. Josiah Lanning. I really hope that Lanning can actually beat this Mohammed guy and flip this district red, because I think it was blue right now. Mary Lightbody's probably going to win re-election just as an incumbent, just because of where her district's at and stuff like that. Same thing with Richard Brown, most likely. I really hope that Adam Miller in this new district can actually get beat by Joe Worthington, because Miller needs to be fucking gone after the shit he's pulled this year, dude. That one, though, I'm not 100% sure. This is, again, why I'm not going to do a full thing right now on this. We're just going to do a little semi, because as soon as I can get the numbers and stuff for stuff, we're going to go into full detail on this whole thing. It's going to be over an hour for the thing in general. So, yeah, so you got Democrats at least 2 right there. This one right now, I think, is a toss-up in some ways. I want to say District 4 will probably fall Democrat. District 5 probably falls Democrat. District 6, I'm not sure about. District 7 will obviously fall Democrat to Allison Russo's bitch ass for another term. District 8, I really hope that Zuli woman can beat Beth Liston, but I wouldn't be surprised if Liston won again. District 9 is going to be this Manara Abduli, who I think is either Indian foreign national or some kind of Islam. I'm not sure which. Arabic, whatever you want to call it there. So that's going to be guaranteed Democrat seat in District 9, which I think District 9 was where the old District 9 was where Janine Boyd actually had her seat at. I don't know if that's the same district now or not. District 10 will be a new person no matter what. I don't know which side it'll be on there. Same thing with District 11. Hopefully it's that Omar guy. District 12 will be our first Republican seat being held there, which will be Brian Stewart. Will basically win no matter what, because the guy that's actually a write-in candidate is not fucking standing a chance there. I really hope this Keith Davey guy can beat Mike Skindell in District 13, but I think Skindell is probably going to win his like 3rd or 4th term in, is what it is now. District 14 will be a new person no matter what. District 15 will fall to Democrats. I really hope that Bride Rose Sweeney gets beat by Michael Lamp, considering she primaried out Monique Smith already. And it would be great to see 2 anti-gunners lose to a Republican, then have that flip Republican. I don't know if that'll happen or not, though, because, again, I think it's like Cleveland areas where that's at. So it'll probably fall Democrat. District 17 will go to Tom Patton. District 18 will probably go to this Taylor woman. District 19 will probably fall to Phil Robinson again. Phil Robinson, by the way, was the other anti-gunner that was with Adam Miller there when they were doing the they were trying to do the universal background check garbage a couple years ago. District 20 will fall Democrat. District 21, I really hope this Kelly Powell woman can take it. District 22 will win. Will be Juanita Brent basically getting in by default, which this is my whole problem entirely. And going back to something I mentioned in previous things on this channel, when it comes to Ohio having, 1 county, 1 rep, 88 counties, 88 reps and stuff like that, dude. This shit right here. Juanita Brent needs to be gone. Her entire district needs to be gone. Terrence Upchurch's district needs to be gone. You need to have fucking Brian Stewart's district being gone. We need to have Allison Russo's district gone. You need to have District 9 gone, where that other person's running there. I need to have the other 2 Democrat districts gone entirely, dude. Because my thing is, if you're not actually beating someone in a general election, why the fuck are you allowed to get in office by default, dude? And it's the same bullshit with that fucking cunt Amelia Sykes, dude, trying to run for Congress right now. She beat nobody in the Democrat primary, dude. It was her running as a solo person in that fucking primary, which I'm pretty sure was the seat that was held by Tim Ryan previously. Yet Madison Jessiato Gilbert beat 6 other candidates to win that Republican primary, dude. Yeah, Madison should be in there by default right now, dude, is what it is. She should just be the fucking candidate overall, based on primaries alone. So, anyway. Going back down the line here, though. Daniel Troy, who is now, just would be his 2nd term if he wins again. Really hope that George guy can beat him, but I don't know. I'm not sure about District 24 right now, how that fell. District 25 will most likely go to scumbag piece of shit Cecil Thomas, just because of the American Nation alone. I think that's a Democrat stronghold. District 26 will go to Cedric Denson by default. District 27, I think, has a slight edge for this gentlewoman. District 28 is the one district I really want to rub it in Miranda's face when she loses this dude. So for those who don't know, about probably 5 months ago or so, give or take, I got into a Twitter war with Jessica Miranda, where I called her bitch ass out for being a baby killer and stuff like that. She actually responded to me. I was shocked about that one, dude. And she was like, "No, I'm totally gonna win re-election." And I'm like, "Oh, you don't know that bitch. You don't know that bitch." And like basically calling her out on her like anti-gunner crap and everything else like that. And then she's basically just throwing like retarded memes at me that's not even really good memes is what it was, dude. Like it was basically Democrat created like crap that somebody like copy and pasted from like a year and a half ago or something that they just keep reusing over and over again and rehashing. But yeah, I would love to see this Chris Manziel guy wipe the fucking floor with her ass, or even Regina Collins for that matter, dude. I don't care which one of them wins at this point, as long as it's not Jessica Miranda. That's the only thing that matters at that point, dude. So, but yeah, I'd love to see District 28 flip red at this point, or at least flip independent anyway. Let's see, District 29, Cindy Abrams is going to win most likely, so that goes Republican. Bill Seitz, whose House leadership was most likely going to win again. Bill Romer's probably going to win again. Bob Young's probably going to win again. District 33, I think I will probably throw a Tabby Golonsky just because. Same thing with District 34 with Casey Weinstein, which he shouldn't be. Like, again, you want to talk about my thing with the federal swatting, dude. Less than a month after that, Casey Weinstein committed a hate hoax on himself by putting fucking tyrant memes in his own mailbox and then selling off the printer he used to print them off on a buy-sell trade site on Facebook. Yet this motherfucker... Let me go ahead and do a screen share on this one because I think there's a picture of this asshole someplace here. Put that down. All right. Yeah, this fucking asshole, Casey Weinstein, this motherfucker right here was never fucking investigated by the feds for misuse of the U.S. Postal Service. Like, seriously, how the fuck is this dude still in our state house after the shit he pulled? Not to mention he was also behind the magazine gun ban, dude. And should have been fucking in jail for that shit. For deprivation of color of law. Thank fuck. Ohio has a Republican supermajority, and his stupid ass fucking legislation was killed in committee. And the same thing with Allison Russo's bullshit, red flag crap, dude. Yet they keep trying to push it through in pro-gun legislation up to including constitutional carry back in June of this year. Is what it was. Or sorry, back in March of this year is when it actually passed because it went into effect in June then, which should have gone into effect immediately. So, I already got my response ready for Jessica Miranda. Don't you worry about that one, man. I'm gonna send her all kinds of stuff, dude. I'm gonna be like, I fucking told you so, bitch. So. Actually, I might use that. What's that one thing? The one I'm trying to remember what that fucking song is, where it's like "Happy Birthday to the Ground" kind of thing, or whatever, and the guy throws the cake on the ground and shit. It'd be something like that kind of thing, probably to her. It's like, oh, you didn't win. Oh, I'm so sorry, but not really. Yeah, go fuck yourself. For those wondering why I hate Jessica Miranda so much, by the way, she was one of these people, just like every other Democrat in this fucking party right now. She's an anti-gunner, but she's one of the worst ones, dude, because she'll sit there and be like, when I was a child, my grandpa took me out and taught me how to shoot properly, and we went hunting together, but we did safety, and we need safety and security, and you need to lock your guns up, and da-da-da-da. Meanwhile, she's taking fucking tens of thousands of dollars from Moms Demand Action, from Michael Bloomberg in every town, etc., for her campaigns. And to run for re-election and everything else like that, dude. Which, again, you know, this is what's interesting to me. There's been some Democrats in the past, like, 6 months or so, like, federally and stuff like that, dude, that have talked about getting... Actually, I think even Dickhead Hogg said it the other day, you know, which he's not even in office, but, you know, it's restored together. Like, he's kind of a quote-unquote no name at this point. Even that jackass was talking about taking, like, money out of politics and stuff like that through corporations and shit, dude. It's like, exactly. You shouldn't have Planned Parenthood or fucking every time or anything else like that, dude, being able to fund Democrat parties, dude. Being able to fund Democrat primaries and shit like that, dude. And candidates. And if they want to sit there and say the NRA funding Republicans, I'm fine with that too, dude. Like, kick them the fuck out as well. Like, I could give a fuck less because their NRA is a bunch of fucking shill cunts anyway, dude. Actually, it was funny the other day. I actually got something in the mail from the NRA talking about, oh, vote for JD Vance and Mike DeWine and a bunch of other people and stuff like that, dude. It's like, fuck you, NRA. Don't tell me who to vote for. I was already going to vote for JD Vance anyway, dude. Fuck Mike DeWine and John Husted, though. They should be in jail right now anyway for the shit they pulled against Ohio and the 442 days of tyranny that DeWine put us under until his emergency powers were stripped back last summer is what it was, summer 2021. So, anyway. But, where the hell was I at right now with this? I don't even know anymore. Oh, yeah. We were at Casey Weinstein. That's right. So, again, we got, damn it, where was I at now? Yeah, okay, so we're probably going to have 34 fall to Casey Weinstein. 35 will be somebody new no matter what. I'm not sure which one it'll be. I hope it's this Steve guy, though, just because that would fall Republican then. Andrea White will most likely win District 36 again. Tom Young will win by default, which again, well, actually, he won't win by default because this Mag girl is in it, but still, like, she's a third-party candidate. It stands no chance is what it is. So I almost guarantee he's going to win more or less by default is what it is. That being said, on the opposite side of the field, you got Willis Blackspear Jr. This guy's a first termer right now. He's going to be a second termer if he would get in again, which obviously he will, because again, this is a district that shouldn't exist when you have nobody to run against, dude. Because it's so gerrymandered blue that no Republican is going to run the fucking district. And it's funny to me that Allison Russo talks about gerrymandering and stuff like that in there, and it's like, oh, well, what Democrat's going to want to run in this Republican stronghold? What Republicans or independent for that matter is going to want to run in the fucking plus 30 fucking Democrat stronghold, dude? Nobody. And it's why you got Willis Blackspear Jr. winning by default again, dude. It's a bunch of shit entirely. Anyway, going on with that though. District 39, I most likely fall to Phil Plummer as an incumbent. Same thing with District 40. Rodney Creech will probably win re-election in a second term there. District 41 between Nancy Larson and Josh Williams. I'm not sure exactly what the results were for that when it came to primary numbers. I think it slightly falls Democrat, though, unfortunately. Derek Mirren, who I want to say was the one that Stolfus said he was going to back as a potential for next speaker. He'll win his election pretty much handily, I think, is what it is. District 43, I'm hoping this Wendy Hendricks actually wins hers. Same thing with 44 with Roy Plummer. Jennifer Gross will probably win just by name recognition alone is what it is. Tom Hall most likely win by name recognition is what it is as an incumbent. This, when I talked about earlier with that piece of shit Sam Lawrence kid, that's the one I was talking about versus Sarah Carruthers. Now, he's been talking about Carruthers basically having some pay-to-play scandal going on in Ohio State House or whatever it is, dude. I don't know if that's true or not, honestly. But the thing is, what's funny to me is he'll sit there and call it a Republican potentially for that, but will never call it his own Democrat fucking buddies like Allison Russo when they're literally taking fucking bribes on camera, dude. When they've been doing the same pay-to-play shit for fucking longer than Republicans have in the state house, dude. And like I said, honestly, if it was up to me, I'd say boot them all the fuck out and we start fresh with new people entirely. And I can actually have a chance to run myself then. And show people that a good constitutionalist like me can't actually win with next to no money behind me. Anyway, Scott Olinger will probably win District 48. I really hope that 49 actually flips to Republican with this Jim Thomas guy, because Thomas West is the piece of shit whose office I called after there was kids pulling guns at the Stark County Fair in 2020. And West, little bitch fucking aide, came back to me and was like, oh, but Representative West totally supports fathered home legislation and has done so in introducing stuff. And I like to know it. I'm like, no, he hasn't, you lying piece of shit. This motherfucker never submitted anything. He's a lying fucking piece of garbage. Is what it is. My state rep, Reggie Stolfus, is District 50, by the way. He's going to win by default, unfortunately. And again, should this district really exist when you have nobody that's running against you in anyway. Here is what it is. Probably not. Same thing with District 51 with Brett Hudson Hillner, dude. So, and then Gail Manning was the bitch that was behind the legislation that basically would have created a statewide TAPS Act for the kids here. But conveniently, Reggie was a no vote while his kids were to be part of being TAPS acted, but yet when they were somehow immune from it, as well as every other state rep's children and grandchildren, etc., now he was a yes vote. And people wonder why I'm going to try to primary this dude out in 2024. Yeah, that's why, dude. So, anyway. Let's see where we're at now. Joe Miller, who was the guy who was talking about the DOOR Act in constitutional carry, which is pretty funny. I really hope this Marty Gallagher can beat his ass. I don't know if he will or not, though. Dick Stain will probably win re-election in District 54. Scott Lips, who should be out of our state house, will probably win District 55. Not sure how District 56 is going to go. I know that Joy Bennett woman is another one of these anti-gun sacks of shit, so hopefully Adam Matthews can beat her ass pretty handily. District 57 will most likely fall to incumbent Jimmy Callender. Same thing with District 58 in Alcatrona. District 59 will go to Democrats by default with this Laura McNally becoming a new state rep. District 60 will fall to Chris Jordan, who I've actually talked to, and I'm going to be doing, if I can get down to the state house this coming sometime either the end of this year or beginning of next year, I will be discussing stuff with him in the next General Assembly about introducing the better version of constitutional carry again, or not constitutional carry, better version of stand your ground again. That would basically allow for no civil lawsuits and stuff like that, because I've talked to him in his office a few times. And yeah, Chris Jordan's a good dude. He was also the one that was him. It was him and Tom Brinkman, who was unfortunately termed out this year, that were the two guys that were actually behind constitutional carry to begin with. And if it wasn't for those guys, we wouldn't have it in the state. So, tip of my cap to you, Chris Jordan, and to you, Tom Brinkman, for being the guys that submitted the legislation there. Yeah, it was a Senate version that got through, but even still, it was basically mirrored images of each other. And if it wasn't for you guys, grabbing the ball and running with it, it would be another probably 3 to 5 years before Ohio actually got constitutional carry. And for people like me that are poor people who can't afford concealed carry licensing, again, I thank you very much on that one, because of you guys, I'm legally able to carry outside my house right now and into my car right now without having to catch a fucking felony charge over some stupid bullshit unconstitutional crap to begin with in the state. So, yeah. Anyway, District 61, which was where Beth Lear actually ousted quote-unquote incumbent Sean Stevens, who wasn't really an incumbent at all. He was appointed like 2 or 3 months ago is what it was. Hopefully she wins. She is actually one of these America First people, dude, and I would love to see her becoming a state rep. Gene Schmidt will probably win re-election again in District 62. Adam Burden, District 63, will win again. I'm not sure how District 64 falls. Hopefully it'll be that Nick Sabatucci guy. District 65 will most likely be Loychek getting another term. He'll most likely beat this Jennifer Donnelly independent party person pretty handily. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Jennifer was actually trying to run for Democrat Party at one point. I want to say, but I could be wrong about that one. Shannon Ray will probably win as incumbent again in District 66. I really hope that Melanie Miller takes District 67. Thaddeus Claggett will win District 68 by default. Kevin Miller, who is an appointee this year, will most likely win District 69 as an incumbent. Same thing with Brian Limpton in District 70. Same thing with District 71 going Republican. District 72, where that's what I was talking about, that Gail Pavlogia, is her pronounce her name. She's the one that actually flipped that from Randy Clate's ass a couple of years ago. Hopefully she wins re-election there, because I think that might be one of the more contested races again in that district, because it's like half Democrat, half Republican or whatever. Jeff LeRae will win 73 by default, pretty much. I'm hoping Bernard Willis takes 74 down. 75, Gambani will win that. District 76, Marilyn John, who probably should have been a one-termer already, because I think she was the only Republican that voted against stripping DeWine of his emergency powers and stuff like that, dude, back last year. And it's like, how the fuck are you going to be the only Republican voting with fucking Democrats to be like, no, it's perfectly fine for a fucking governor to sit there and have emergency powers forever, basically, when they can decide at a whim of a fucking, Drop of a hat, basically, is what it is. Any kind of whim is what it is. Oh, now there's a pandemic. Now shut everything down, destroy people's businesses and their fucking livelihoods and their lives forever, dude. Forever, however the fuck long I say it's gonna be. Fuck that shit, dude. Fuck her. Seriously, dude. Anyway, Scott Wiggum, who is the guy who is the current chair where Ohio's two-way sanctuary bill is in, he needs to bring that shit up for fucking votes already, dude, and get it done already. He'll win re-election because that's a Republican stronghold area there. Susan Manchester wins by default in her districts in 78 there. I really hope that Monica Robb Basdall, I think it's pronounced her name, wins District 79. Jenna Powell will win 80 by default. James Hoops 81 by default. District 82, hopefully that Roy guy wins that, but I'm not sure. I forget exactly what the numbers were on that one. I think this other person that's running as a Democrat actually has a possibility of getting in there. District 83 goes to John Cross. District 84, I'm not sure where this one falls. District 85, you will have Tim Barhost be a new state rep. District 85, District 86, you will have Tracy Richardson most likely winning re-election. District 87, McLean will win re-election by default. District 88, Gary Click most likely becomes a second-term rep. District 89, DJ Swearingen, who is the piece of shit who basically fucked over our constitutional carry, and Terry stops into it, will unfortunately win re-election by default, just because, Republican area and stuff like that. District 90, Brian Baldridge will probably win again. This was one of the other guys that's going to be, I believe if I'm not mistaken, when I talked to Stolfis, he said something about Marin. I think Baldridge is one of the other names he mentioned as possibilities for next speakership is what it is then. And I can't remember if he said Jason Stevens was in there as well on that one. I can't remember offhand who was all in that thing. I know he said 4 different people, though. Bob Peterson, who used to be a state senator, is now going to be a state rep again. Again, this is why we need to have term limits across the fucking board. And if you're already termed out on one side, get the fuck out, old man, and let somebody else take District 91 over. Mark Johnson will win District 92 by default. Jason Stevens will win District 93 by default. Jay Edwards, because Ryan Goodman's not going to be in that race anymore, and most likely nobody else will be. He will win that by default. Don Jones will win 95, most likely as an incumbent. 96 will fall to Ron Ferguson by incumbent thing. 97 will go Republican just by default. 98, Daryl Kick will probably win by default just because the other chick that's running for Democrats there is a write-in candidate. And then District 99, I think Sarah Fowler Arthur actually has a really good chance to beat this Katie girl because she actually was able to do Sarah was able to flip 99 in 2020, and I think there's a very good possibility that stays Republican stronghold again now is what it is, dude. So I'm not sure what the overall number of that is. Like I said, I'll do my full analysis later on at some point, probably sometime tomorrow, actually, because it's not going to be later today is what it is. Got a long time today. But, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens there. I know I'm getting low on time on both of my accounts right now for the thing. I got a couple hours left on the other one. I know I got maybe 2 hours left on this one right now or less. So it'll have to be one of those things where it's a pretty short and sweet thing to the point kind of deal. But yeah, either way, I think there's a very good chance that we have Republicans maintaining supermajority status here. And as it stands right now, if you had all 64 seats right now that are Republican, stay Republican, and we're able to flip 2 more seats red, they could kick out every single Democrat from our state house with a 66-33 vote is what it is, dude. Which is kind of a scary thought when you think about it, dude, to have a one-party state, especially if some of those people that are in your one-party state aren't actually good people is what it is. And now control your entire state house is what it would be then. So... But at least it's not the other way, dude, because if it was Democrats, oh my God, dude, they would be out for fucking blood and be kicking everybody out immediately, dude. So, but yeah, it would be interesting to see if that does happen, though. And that's kind of what I'm trying to lean to right now is see if we can get the 66 or not, dude, because it would be interesting to see them just be like, okay, now we're opening investigations into every single Democrat here across the board for all the bribes you've taken from Mom's Demand and Bloomberg and everything else like that, dude. Hope you enjoy your last days of freedom here because it ain't going to be too many more. So, but yeah, and that's the problem I think with the Republican Party in a nutshell, dude, especially the old establishment people and stuff like that. They don't want to go for the throat, man. They have the fucking chance to get it done, and they refuse to actually grab the people by the fucking nuts and fucking chuck them out of the fucking thing entirely, dude. And that's the biggest problem I have with these people entirely. And that's why I'm actually, pro, mega movement and fucking America First people and stuff like that, dude, because at least they have fucking nuts is what it is, dude. At least they want to do something to fix this fucking country where you have a bunch of old motherfucking establishment people that are just like, no, let's just be the status quo. And then they wonder why they're out of office, fucking 2, 3, 4 years later is what it is, dude. And it's because they're so corrupt is what it is. And exactly why I hate career politicians so much, dude, is what it is. There should never be the terms career and politician together as a thing, dude. That should never be a fucking phrase ever in this country, or any other country for that matter, because you should never be holding office for long enough to have it be a fucking career is what it is. And again, this is something that could be easily fixed with a 20th Amendment to the Constitution currently, which would be age limits, health limits, term limits, unmet qualifications, both from office and for running for office. And it would be that simple, dude. Recall voting on top of that as well, dude. And you would have the ability to be like, no, this person's committed a bunch of unconstitutional stuff in the last, 6 months in their time in office or whatever, dude. It's like, no, they're gone, dude. They're gone. We have a special election entirely, replace them out, and hopefully the next person's a better candidate is what it is then. And that's another thing too. The money in politics is something that needs to end real bad. And that's the one thing for me, going back for a couple minutes talking about that. Was there a time where I was running for a hot governor in this state? Yeah, there was. And it was back in like 2019, 2020. I had no money in the coffers, dude. I had no name recognition. I had nothing, dude. It was just me. And that's exactly why I was never able to really get a campaign off the ground. Going out there and getting, I think it was somewhere between like 5,000 and 10,000 signatures as a Republican nominee. That's a lot to ask somebody, dude. Like, even if you have like a group of people with you, dude, that's a shitload of fucking signatures to be gathering, dude. That's insane. And yet, meanwhile, you go for like state house seats and stuff like that, dude, or state senate seats and stuff like that. It's 50 fucking signatures, dude, that you need to have certified of actual, legitimate party voters and stuff like that. So you're talking about maybe a couple hundred at most that you would actually need to have like the 50 is what it would be, man. It's a lot easier to get 100 to 200 signatures than it is to get like, 15, 20,000 basically, dude. So you can have like 10,000 that are actually legitimately certified and stuff. So yeah, it's a bunch of shit entirely, dude. And like I said, I think the biggest issue is that it's a lot easier for somebody that gets party backing and is able to be, in there forever is what it is. And then you wonder why people get so fucking pissed with status quo. And it's like, that's why, dude, because we're just sick and tired of it. And it doesn't help when you have, things that we really can't talk about on this platform. But it's, people not wanting, free and fair elections is what it is. And I'll leave it at that. 2,000 mules. And then you wonder why people are like, well, should we even vote anymore kind of thing is what it is. And it's like, yeah. I was talking to people about that last night in a back chat and about the possibility of like, what would happen if they suspended our elections? Would it be civil war? And the one guy was like, no, it'll probably just be like 2020 all over again. And I was like, yeah, I hope not. So, I don't know, man. It's just sad to me, though. The one thing I will say, though, and this is one thing I find interesting when you look into most state houses across this country right now, the Democrat Party, when you look at the leadership of them federally, which is like Pelosi and all these, silent generation people and stuff like that have been there for 30, 40, 50 years in some cases, all of them people are so old at this point and don't understand how like internet works and stuff like that, or barely understand how like any, current technology is what it is, dude, is able to function and shit. So they have these aides and stuff that'll do a lot of their texts and tweets and stuff like that for them is what it is, dude. And so what you end up having is them not being literate to the fact that, yeah, you can win at a federal level or whatever, but you're allowing all these state houses to now flip red or like, independent or whatever it is here and there, like kind of like third party, like mishmash or whatever there. And so what you end up having now in the last 10 to 15 years or so, and this is why you got people like Allison Russo who are so pissed off all the time, is because they understand that Ohio is now a red state, dude. It's why you had an article come out a few years ago where it was a donkey looking at the state of Ohio and it was all like blood red, basically. I actually thought it would have been funny to make a meme where it was basically blood dripping out of the donkey's neck, and that was making Ohio a red state then. And then the donkey just keels over. But yeah, so basically what happened was you had states like Ohio that used to be a bellwether state. We were very purple for some time is what it was, dude. That's why you had, 1997, we had the ability to have constitutional carry back then. But you had so many Democrats, whether they be blue dog or not, in office then. And by blue dog, I mean people that are, pro-gun or pro-life or whatever it is there. And, they were there and they were like, no, we don't really want this thing, whatever the case be. Or it would be something like, and I would even almost say like sort of like a red dog Republican is what it is, dude, which would be somebody who is, pro 2A and all this other stuff, but they're also like pro weed or whatever the case be. For some reason, this is what I don't understand about people though. How the hell does marijuana somehow equate to you being like pro Democrat voter and shit like that, dude? That doesn't make any sense to me because I'm pro weed legalization, dude. And again, I'm more to the libertarian mindset is what it is. And my whole thing is it's like, my biggest issue with the whole thing, honestly, right now is when you look at all these old people anymore, dude, they're the ones that are most inclined to be the recipients of edibles or whatever it is, dude, or some kind of weed related thing like that to help them with chronic pain is what it would be, man. But yet they're the ones that are also like so diehard Democrat voters that are like, no, we don't need to legalize that stuff. Or they're so hardcore, Reaganite Republicans and stuff like that they're like, no, that's the devil's lettuce, bro. That doesn't need to be legalized at all, dude. And yet, meanwhile, they're sitting there sucking down fucking a big fucking bottle of Big Pharma pills every day is what it is, dude. When you could have literally like a bite of a fucking sucker or something like that, get high for like a while and be in much better fucking shape is what it would be, man. So, or, there was I don't know if people know what Buckeyes are. They're basically, it's something that we can make here in Ohio. It's what we call Buckeyes anyway. It's basically the outer shell is a big piece of chocolate and then the inner shell is a big piece of peanut butter. It's kind of almost like a Reese's cup, but like open face, I guess is what it would be called. And yeah, people make edibles into those things is what it is, dude. Where it's just like drenched in THC and stuff. And I've seen some people, like I remember a few years ago when I was playing MTG back in the day, the shop owner guy was given a piece of one by somebody. And the guy's like, okay, just take a bite of this or whatever. And you're going to be like really high. This dude fucking ate like half of one of them and was tripping balls the rest of the fucking night, dude. And I was like, bro, what the fuck? He told you to take a small bite. But yeah, that dude was, oh, buddy. He didn't know which way was up for a while, is what it was. But, anywho, yeah, going back though, with Pelosi and them people. So they let, they have taken the federal stuff is what it is, but yet they've sat there and let these state houses basically flip either red or like some kind of like purpley mixture now to where they no longer control them is what it is. And then they wonder why people are getting shit passed at state levels then to basically be like, no, fuck you federally is what it is, dude. But then you have my current state rep, Reggie Stolfus here, who's like, oh, but federal law trumps state law. And it's like, does it though, bro? Because pretty sure the 10th Amendment to the Constitution, something you swore an oath to uphold, buddy, legitimately talks about states' rights, man. And that's the entire point, man. Like when the federal government becomes tyrannical, dude, it's time to invoke states' rights, bro. So, nice. So, a federal judge dismissed Mexico's $10 billion lawsuit against U.S. gun manufacturers. Good for them. Hopefully, whoever it is will do the same one against the people that tried to bring the Highland Park one against Smith & Wesson recently. I still can't believe that shit, man. That fucking pisses me off beyond belief on that one. Somebody is calling the house right now. I don't know if that's picking up on the mic or not, but it's, yeah. I'm almost done here anyway. Like I said, I don't got a whole lot of time left on here, so I want to save what little time I have left for the next thing, and then it'll be the 7th. Will be when my account resets entirely. When my first account, about this account, I think it's like a few days later then. So I'll have a whole new 20 hours come the 7th then, which will probably be burned through pretty quick, is what it is. I maybe should pay for StreamYard at this point, but again, my whole thing is it's like not really having the money to do so, and then I don't know if I really do enough stuff for it to be like justifiable. Because there's going to be times where it could be like, you know, maybe like 10 hours in an entire month I might be on or something like that. And then like the next month it's like 40, 50 hours of fucking content I'm putting out there or whatever. So yeah, I don't know if it's really worth it or not. And especially when I don't do panels and shit like that, so there's no reason to have like a 10-person panel when you're not even using it for, you know, the other 5 people that you get for free. But anywho. Yeah, like I said though, it'll be interesting to see what happens come November. Actually, really the next 30 days or so, because again, going back to back chats and stuff, people were talking about the possibility of like a false flag in the next few months or something here. And I was like, I wouldn't be surprised if it was before the end of the month, honestly, dude. You know, again, if they really like Democrats or, you know, Democrats, rhinos, etc., are grasping at straws at this point, will do anything they can to maintain power, dude. And if that means suspending our elections entirely, shit, I wouldn't put it past them at this point to pull something. And whether that be, and the thing is, like, when you look at the playbook they've been pulling now, dude, for the last several decades is what it is. It's always the same shit over and over again, whether it be, you know, activate X number of mass shooters here and there to do whatever, or some other stupid shit along those lines is what it'll be, dude. And so, yeah, whether it be another massacre to attack the Second Amendment, whether it be fucking, so whether it be like another Uvalde type of thing or whatever the case be to attack the Second Amendment again and try to push for, you know, total gun bans and stuff like that, whether it be, you know, fucking ATF skirting their fucking legalities and stuff like that, trying to do the fucking amnesty pistol brace ban crap now or something. So, I don't know, man. There's a lot of shit I could think could happen right now. Or, you know, like I said, might be something where I know that fucking piece of shit Zelensky over there in Ukraine has basically been like, hey, NATO, let us in now. And if that fucking happens, like, yeah, there's no way we're not going to World War III over that shit, dude. So, because again, it goes back to that kind of attack on one is an attack on all of us kind of thing. Even though in the first place, Ukraine is not one of us, nor should they be one of us, because again, they are one of the most corrupt fucking countries entirely, and it's all U.S. government done crap, dude, with a bunch of scumbag criminals like Joe Biden and stuff, dude, that have been funneling fucking money in there for decades and shit. And this is all proven, by the way, already. You can go out there and find all the information yourself. That, yeah, under Obama's administration, they basically funneled in like billions and billions of dollars to that fucking place, and it was basically what it was supposed to have been. If you had a bunch of elitists here in America to flee America, they would have ran over to Ukraine. That's what it would have been. And Putin was basically not having it anymore. He's like, fuck you guys, kind of thing. So, not that I think Putin's a good guy. I think he's a piece of shit too, honestly, on that one. I think they all are. You know, like I say at this point, I say fuck them all, dude. Fuck Ukraine and fuck Russia. And they can basically kill each other at this point. As long as none of the fallout hits America, that's all I care about, dude. And if the Chinese want to fucking help Russia out, okay, cool. Or either side for that matter. And it's like, yeah, go ahead, bro. Piss away your fucking resources and figure out what happens there. So, yeah, my biggest fear right now, honestly, is like some kind of inward Chinese invasion already happening in our country right now, dude. Or something similar for that matter, whether it be that or a mix of like that and Islamic terrorism or whatever coming together as one. And that would potentially be the false flags and stuff like that. There's actually been a lot of talk going around here in the last year, like about 8-10 months now or so, give or take, throughout this year. I guess there is a lot of kids now, a lot of these different Arabic people that are coming over to our country and stuff are now trying to recruit these young teens that are Americans to basically become Islamic terrorists, essentially, is what it would be. And that's a scary fucking thought right now, dude. for them kids to basically be the activated, soldiers and stuff like that of some like jihad or whatever it be then. So, yeah, it's not good, man. And like I said, every day that goes by, honestly, I really wish I just had the money at this point to just be more well armed. Be more well armed and ready to roll is what it is, dude. Like I got some arms, but not enough, dude, is what it is. And by arms, I mean firearms, obviously. But yeah, it's funny to me that people were bitching and moaning about like, oh, you can only shoot like one gun at a time or two guns at a time or whatever. And I'm like, no, you can shoot at least two guns at a time, dude. And if they both run out of ammo, then you drop those and you grab the third one is what it is then. So, but yeah, if worst came to worst though, honestly, if it was something like that, it would be, rifle, pistol kind of thing then, and maybe like a shotgun on the back or something, like a bandolier across the chest kind of deal. But anyway, I think for most people it would just be like or it would, actually no, it'd probably just be the rifle and then like a whole, setup or whatever with all your extra mags and shit like that, and then probably a pistol setup as well, the same kind of deal. I think that's what a lot of people's battle kits would just be like some kind of like an AR, an AK or whatever then, and then 6-7 extra mags for them, and then insert X pistol name there, Glock, Sig, whatever it is, Taurus, and a few extra mags with that. Then is what it would be. So, and then of course you have the people that would be in these restricted states and stuff like that where they can't get that kind of stuff, so they got like micro Ronies on Glocks and shit or something or whatever, or some kind of crazy configuration, or maybe like a carbine or something like that, like a Ruger PC or something like that, Charger or carbine or whatever it is then, and then or maybe like an AR-9 or something like that shoots like 9mm instead of like 5.56 and shit or something. So, or I know in California, I know a lot of people in California, because their gun roster there, it's like SKSs are like big money or whatever, and so it's like M1 Garands and shit. So, which is kind of funny when you look into that stuff, because it's like, yeah, M1 Garands are actual weapons of war at some point in history, dude. And like I think it was World War I or II or something like that, one of those two. And I think maybe Korean War too, if I'm not mistaken. I believe that they were some kind of mixture thereof. I'm trying to think now, because I know there was that movie about that Desmond Doss guy that was the pacifist dude that was played by the one Spider-Man guy in that one movie. And I want to say M1 Garands were part of that mix, and that was, I think, World War II, if I'm not mistaken. So, but yeah, it's funny to me that you have all these scumbag ass politicians that are like, the AR-15 is a weapon of war, and it's like, meanwhile you have the M1 Garand that's able to be sold everywhere, that's an actual fucking weapon of war from like 70, 80, 90 years ago, something like that. So yeah, it's just funny. But it also really does go to show like how fucking stupid the people really are, dude, and why they should never be allowed to hold power in this country. So, but anywho, that's pretty much where we're at for the day, though. Hope you guys enjoyed this hour and a half thing, and me talking about how much of a stupid fucking cunt Allison Russo actually is, and everything else like that. So, I can't remember what gun Simo Haya used. The guy who was a quote unquote White Death. He was the Finnish sniper back in the day during the Russian invasion there. I think he was using a 7.62 by 54R, but I'm not sure which rifle that was actually used there. I think that was the caliber. I could be wrong though. That dude was interesting though. He did that shit with fucking irons, dude. So that should tell you something. And his whole thing about using irons was the fact that it was like, oh, if you have to have that rifle scope on there, you got to put your head up like a couple more inches or something like that, and that's how he was able to kill a bunch of counter snipers and shit. So, yeah, that was very interesting. That dude was like a living legend for a long time, dude, before his death. So, yeah, it's interesting when you have people like that in human history, and then people want to sit there and talk about, oh no, but these things are these things or whatever the case being. It's like, nah, bro, like that guy he needed to do what he needed to do to save his fucking country is what it was. And I guarantee you, he saved a lot of fellow countrymen in those conflicts and shit like that in that war that he was part of, dude. So, although, for me personally, like nowadays, I'm really not a fan of these people that are like modern day snipers that'll take like a mile and a half shot on somebody. And it's like, that's kind of scummy, dude. Like, come on now. Like, they don't even see that shit coming, bro. Like, if I was going to be part of like anything, I'd much rather have like an up close and personal kind of thing, is what it is, dude. But that's just me. Now, granted, that being said, you also expose yourself to the possibility of being, killed in that kind of deal, is what it is as well. And that's why you have, literal squads and military units and stuff like that go into a house and shit like that, sweep the house. You have like the one guy kicking the door in or breaching the door with a shotgun or whatever it is. And then you have like everybody else running through and, do what they need to do there. And sometimes people get shot as the first or second person in then from insurgents and stuff like that. So, yeah, it is what it is, though. Okay, it was a variant of Mosin Nagant. That's what it was. Okay. Yeah, that sounds right then. Yeah, that's what I thought. It was like the Finnish Nagant or whatever. So, yep. I know that was the one thing because I remember watching Count Dankula's video about him, and it was something where he had bought it from like the Finnish military or whatever, or however it went there, and became so proficient with it that it was actually not even in use at the time. And he was like, "No, I'm still going to use it. Just give me the ammo for it," because he was so good at like doing stuff at that point and doing like all kinds of competitions and shit. And yeah, they gave him enough ammo for it, and he just went out there and just dinged everybody, dude. And apparently freaked out entire Russian squads because they thought it was like 10 people firing on him and it was just one guy. It's like, dude, that, like, seriously, you gotta be like fucking like master level hardcore at that point to be the guy that's like, nah, I'm gonna go ahead and fire down on these guys. And I think it's like 10 different people shooting at them and shit. That, I'll tell you what that reminds me of. Actually, there was a series that History Channel did. It was called "The Men Who Built America: Frontiersmen," and it talked about Tecumseh. He was one of the Native American guys who was trying to fight the government at the time. He actually led some crazy raids, and it was like guerrilla warfare style with the Native American guys. And interestingly enough, when you look at American history from that perspective of stuff, it was Henry Hudson Hilner, Henry Hicks Hudson. That's who I believe the guy's name was. He was like the 6th or 7th president of the United States. That dude was a military general at the time. That dude went scorched earth and murdered a shitload of women and children that were Native Americans for no reason other than to basically get at Tecumseh and get him out there into the open to kill him, is what it was eventually. So you're talking about the guy was slaughtering, hundreds of innocent people for no reason at all, other than to be like, fuck this guy, essentially. Yeah, pretty fucked up, man. And again, people don't ever want to talk about that kind of stuff, though, because, and if you do, somehow you're now white hate, which makes no fucking sense. And it's like, no, dude, I'm just talking about human history. Talk about American history, for God's sakes. If y'all don't want to talk about American history, man, you're forced to repeat it, man. That's what the problem is right now. Same thing with every history, for that matter, of the world. I think that's the problem with so many people, is what it is, dude. But yeah, crazy stuff. Yeah, I know that that is one thing I do remember about Tecumseh, or yeah, not Tecumseh. Simo Haya, the guy who was the White Death Finnish sniper. Yeah, he was shot in the face by somebody and then still survived. So, and lived to the ripe old age of an old man. But actually, speaking of old people, my aunt's neighbor, this is the woman who I've talked about several times on this channel, who survived both Hitler and Stalin. She is 99 years old. She'll be 100 years old come December, and they think she's not going to make it before the end of the year. So, and unfortunately, her kid, who was her son, her granddaughter, and her great granddaughter never got her story of her survival from 2 different dictators. That's the kind of shit that pisses me off. Those should be stories that should be preserved forever, dude, because these are the kind of people They understand what real fucking tyranny looks like, and they understand what Americans are facing today is that outside threat of the possibility of becoming a modern day Nazi fucking dictatorship, dude. And yet nobody really wants to bring that shit up, is what it is, dude. Because people, again, when we refuse to actually, talk about and discuss real history, you're doomed to repeat it eventually. It might not be the exact same thing over and over again, but it's going to be like slight variants of the original thing is what it'll be, man. So, anyway, and that's why I'll call out pieces of shit like Allison Russo or any other Democrat in the state of Ohio or any Democrat federally or any Republican federally or at a state level. If I think you're an oath-breaking piece of shit, I'm going to call you an oath-breaking piece of shit, dude. And yeah, you're damn right that fucking stupid fucking cunt, demon scowl herself, Allison Russo, is a fucking oathbreaker, dude. And has been forever. So, anyway. Go ahead and drop it to that one. The beatings will continue until morale improves. that's pretty much spot on, by the way, at this point. Because that's what's going to happen to the Democrats come November, dude. They're going to get beaten handily, I think is what it is. And it'll be interesting to see how many states in this country either flip red or go from hardcore blue to like purple in the time span of one election cycle, because I think it's going to happen very quickly. And when it does, you're going to be seeing people spinning, dude. They're going to be like, wait, what? What the fuck just happened? Why? Why did that just happen? We thought we were a blue state over here. It's like, nah, bro, people are sick and tired of your shit is what it is. So, anyway. Yeah. Hopefully it'll happen in Washington State specifically, because that way they can get rid of their stupid mag bans very quickly is what it would be, man. Which, how that even passed was just so ridiculous. I'll tell you what, man, that's the problem with a lot of these states like that, whether it be Washington State, with Seattle being their, major blue leftist shithole there, whether it be Portland in Oregon being their major shithole there for Antifa strongholds and stuff, etc. Or, most of these places like LA being California's stronghold, or San Francisco, Pelosi's district being another stronghold there for Democrats in California. And then you have these like swaths of like red areas in these states, but the problem is you have the blue areas being so densely populated with, several million to tens of millions of people that they just encapsulate all the actual other voter base is what it is, dude. So you have this quote unquote blue state, but there's like these huge red pockets in it. And then it's the opposite way for red states. You have a big red state, but then you have like these fucking little Democrat hell pockets in it that are major cities, whether it be Columbus, Ohio, or Cincinnati, Ohio, or fucking Dayton, Ohio, or Toledo, Ohio, or Canton, Akron area here, or Cleveland, or anything else for that matter, dude. Or in PA, I would almost say PA is almost a red state, except for the fact they have shitholes like fucking Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. And then they wonder why they got fucking, black kids doing gangbanger shootings on fucking Main Street in those fucking areas, dude. And opening fire on random crowds and shit. And it's like, yeah, it's not hard to figure out, bro. Actually, I heard one last night. It was some dude in Denver area that got shot to death on a bus. Like, he had got on a bus or whatever. Some dude followed him on the bus with a gun and capped his ass. And it was an update to it. And it was like, oh, this was a targeted hit, basically. This was not a random bystander that was shot and killed. And it's like, that's fucked up, dude. So what you're saying is there was a possibility for it to be a random bystander, but now you're saying it's a targeted hit. And either way, it's like, you still had this dude be fucking followed and killed then. It's like, that's ridiculous, man. And again, you look at fucking Colorado, and what is it? It's fucking dickhead Jared Polis there, the only what was I gonna say? Yeah, Jared Polis, one of the only piece of major fucking demon Democrats in fucking office, dude. Pro baby killer up to the moment of birth and even after it, just like Newsom's ass. And then obviously in Polis's case, he happens to be the only gay governor. So At least I should say the only openly gay governor, because I think there's a lot that are closeted right now, dude. Like, seriously, Gretchen Whitmer may claim to be straight, but I would not be surprised if she went both ways, dude, at this point, honestly. And if you look at Kate Brown in Oregon, dude, oh my God, bro. Like, yeah, there ain't no way that chick is straight, dude. So, and I would even say the same thing about Janet Mills in Maine there. Like, that chick is definitely, she likes the filet fish a little bit too much. I'll say it like that, man. But anyway. And then, Nan Whaley here in Ohio, who's trying to run for governor, ex-Democrat mayor. Yeah, that shit. It makes sense why she's a baby killer, man, because yeah, she definitely just seems like the type that would frequent some shady areas, is what it is. So, but anyway, yeah, needless to say, it's a whole situation there of people are just finally sick and tired of it, I think, dude. Actually, it was funny. Polis apparently put out a poll on his thing the other day there for governor, and it was like, I'm the best governor ever kind of thing there in Colorado. And everybody's like, dude, we fucking hate you. We can't wait to vote against you come the election cycle. That's another one. Tony Evers. That dude is definitely closeted, dude. He is 100% closeted. And Evers was also the guy who was the piece of shit that allowed Kenosha to happen because he refused to actually take the military National Guard people from Trump then. And then basically let like fucking 3 days of rioting happen and people having their houses burned and everything else like that burned. Dealerships of cars and things like that. And then, of course, you had the Kyle Rittenhouse self-defense shooting because of that whole thing. And magically, then you had the cops the day after finally do their jobs. And what did they do that next day? Oh, let's catch a bunch of vans full of Antifa getting gas cans and stuff to go fucking commit more arsons, dude. There's a video out there of that, by the way. It was like the day after Rittenhouse's self-defense shooting in Kenosha there. You had this van trying to like pull up to a light or whatever the case being. It was just like swarmed by like 6 different cop cars from all directions. Some of them were undercover, some of them weren't. And they were like, get out of the fucking car. And they were all pointing guns at them and shit. And it was like all these Antifa people were running out in like fucking basically black masks. And they're like, on the fucking ground, cocksuckers. It was fucking great. But, and that's what I'm saying, dude. Like, they could have stopped that shit like fucking day number 1 if they wanted to. But they refused to because, shocker, they did some shady shit, is what it was back then, dude. And we're seeing the fallout of it 2 years later now is what it is. And again, I can't specifically say certain words on this fucking platform because I'm not getting this fucking channel be struck down, dude, is what it is. That's why we talk about this stuff on Rumble from time to time, because we can actually talk about the legitimacy of certain things, and we can just call it out for what it is, dude, and we can talk about BCA. And for those who don't know what BCA is, the B is Biden, the A is ass, and the C continues on with an H, and you know the rest at that point, dude. So, anyway. But, yeah, I think that's where we're at for the day, though, because like I said, I'm almost 2 hours in now. I think I got about an hour left or so on this account, and I got a couple hours left on the other account, so hopefully have enough time to do some stuff there, but I also got things I got to do right now, so... Throat's starting to go a little dry and sore too. I think I'm getting a cold now. Fucking Ohio weather the last couple of days. We had a frosted advisory for the last like 36 hours. Yeah, about 36 hours, give or take. And just craziness, dude. Definitely getting the winter scented right now in the fall, and then sometime in like the next few days it's supposed to be in like 60s or 70s or something like that, and then it's going to be back to like the 50s because of the hurricane remnants popping up now. Just crazy, man. Fucking Mother Nature is a beast, man. I'll say it like that. And unfortunately, when you have government fuckery in some of these cases, it's kind of hard to not sit here and say, yeah, it's kind of shady shit going on there, man. But anyway, yeah, it is what it is. Like I said, I'll be back later at some point. For those that need me tonight at all, if you need me tonight at all, you want to talk to me at all tonight, I'll be in NEA's cast doing mod stuff because I'm one of his mods over there for Mondays, and it's nice to be there as a mod here and there because there are some times where you do have all these fucking bots coming out of the woodwork, and you have to go there and nuke them from orbit is what it is before they have a stronghold on the thing to just start spamming their fucking sexbot.coms or whatever the fuck it is, dude. Kind of things. And again, I've talked about this before. Hell, I was doing that one stream at like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning the other day, and you had one of those, like literally the last 10 minutes, one of those fuckers came up in here and started spamming shit, dude. And yet there was nobody on the thing. Somehow my viewer count was magically 0 at the time when that happened. And it's like, how the hell is that happening unless they're algorithming into the fucking shit somehow, dude? Doesn't make any sense at all. Like, there's got to be some kind of level of hackation going on there or something, dude. And you would think that the people that are actually owning this fucking site would be against that kind of stuff, dude, and be able to deal with that accordingly. So, I don't know, man. It's just craziness either way, though. But like I said, it'll be interesting to see what happens here. And then, of course, there's been updates going on with the situation there in Tulsa, Oklahoma. For those who don't know about that whole thing, talked about that the other day on one of the grandstands with old Nutter, who shall not be named. That person's off their fucking rocker now. It'll be interesting to see if they actually end up on Libs of TikTok one of these days for how insane they are. It'd be funny if they did, though. I don't know if they will or not. I don't know if anybody submitted their any of their content to the Libs of TikTok people or not. It'd be funny if they did, though. So, but yeah, people are crazy, man. And I think, unfortunately, like I've said before, and I'll say it again, 2020 and the fallout of it from the past 2 years now have really outed a lot of people's true constitutionalism or lack thereof in some cases. And whether it be people willing to cuck out to tyranny or people willing to, do what needs to be done to basically be like, oh, I still need this job, so let me go ahead and do this thing, instead of being like, no, I'm going to sue the fuck out of you for trying to put me in medical tyranny, dude. So, I don't know. Then you got fucking asshole Biden who is claims the pandemic's over and yet kicking out some fucking Coast Guard swimmer guy because he refused to get the jibbity jabs. So, fucking ridiculous, dude. All the way around. Shit just really disgusts me like that, dude. But anywho, yeah, like I said though, to reiterate though before we end off things, Allison Russo belongs in jail, as does pretty much the rest of the entire Ohio Democrat Party at state level, because they're all a bunch of scumbag criminals. Minimum, they should be investigated for various bribery scandals and stuff like that. And I would say to that effect as well, there should be a lot of Republicans in the state of Ohio that should be investigated for the same reasons, starting with Bob Cupp and Bill Seitz, because both of those guys are 100%, just like Householder was, dude. They're tied to the HB6 scandal, as is Mike DeWine and John Husted, current governor and lieutenant governor, who should also be investigated for that stuff. And Nan Whaley herself, Democrat nominee for governor, should be investigated for the amount of bribe money she's taken from Planned Parenthood and Michael Bloomberg. So, yeah, until that shit happens, though, nothing's ever going to change. And unfortunately, when people refuse to actually do their jobs, whether it be state law enforcement or federal law enforcement, it's always going to be status quo, dude. And you're going to keep having Ohio be one of the most corrupt states in this planet right now and in this country. So, I don't know, man. There is one thing I thought was funny, though. There was a meme I saw a while ago where it was like the two astronaut meme, where it's like the one astronaut looking down on the Earth or whatever, and it's the other one with like a gun to the back of his head or whatever kind of thing. And it was the dude looking down at the Earth, and it was just a giant fucking flag of Ohio as the Earth. And the guy's like, "It's all Ohio," and the dude behind him's like, "It always was." So. To be fair, though, if you actually look back into like the 1800s and stuff like that, what is currently the state of Ohio was actually just a small portion of what was the Ohio Territory at the time. and that included Michigan and Indiana and stuff like that. I think it was also part of Pennsylvania too now. So, yeah, you actually had our state be the state size of about 5 different states is what it was then, as like a giant territorial area. It'd be interesting if that happened again, actually, and we just had the Greater Ohio Territories. But I don't know if anybody would go for that or not, dude. At this point, it'd be funny if they did, though. It's something that I've talked about here and there, of basically trying to do some kind of a vote thing where it'd be like, yeah, let's just make basically take like small sections of other states and be like, let's make these parts of these states the Greater Ohio Territories to help them get constitutional carry too now. But I don't know if that'll work or not, though. To be fair, it would be. I know Indiana's already constitutional carry, so it wouldn't really matter for them. But like part of Michigan, it would, and then part of Pennsylvania, if we were going to take that, it would. So yeah, there's a couple small chunkades here that would matter. But then there's other parts that we would also kind of want to have as Greater Ohio Territory areas that really wouldn't matter, is what it would be. Because it would be, like I said, part of Indiana, and then I think part of West Virginia would also be a little bit of that. So, but anyway, that's pretty much where we're at for the day, though. And I will leave this off right now. I know there's a lot of people that didn't make it out of the Florida hurricane, and there's a lot of people there. I think it's like 2 million something right now without power or anything like that. Please don't give to the Red Cross. They are some scumbag pieces of shit, dude. They are definitely pocketing a lot of the fucking money that's going to go to these relief funds and stuff like that. If you're going to do something, be smart about it. And I would say donate locally. If there's somebody that's going to take a food truck or something down there full of food, donate some cans of food to it, man. I'm actually right now in the early stages of trying to get something like that going, to have a couple people just drive an entire truck full of food down there for these people that are definitely going to need it. And it's something that I think a lot of people could be better off doing, that kind of thing, instead of doing to stupid fucking organizations like the Red Cross that you don't know where the money is actually going in the long run. But yeah, if nothing else, I'd say pray for Florida. Pray that they can get everything back to working order and stuff like that in the near future, because, Fort Myers is gone, man. Like, that whole place is just gone. And those people lost everything. And even the food donation thing, if you can donate like a blanket or something, or, some clothes or something, dude, and have them throw it in the truck or something too, like, do that. That I think that's a better donation than fucking just sending money to some random, giant corporation, basically, that's going to be a nonprofit. But yeah, to me, it's horrible. It's horrible to see what happened there. And, whether that be Mother Nature doing it itself, or whether it be man-made through HARP and shit like that, or whatever, dude, doesn't matter. It's just a horrible thing to see happen. And it's unfortunate that you have people who are now trying to scam people and use that as a way to scam people. And then you also have people who are out there trying to loot homes of people, to where you have to have various things put out there by homeowners, including the following sign that I'm going to show right now. This is one of the things that was shown in Florida the other day. Loot here, die here. And that's the one thing we've seen many times since 2020. Whether it be loot here, die here, or whether it be the guy saying, it was in Washington State there when they were doing all the arsons up there during the riot, and like post Chaz weeks and stuff like that, where they were like, bang, bang, or how'd it go? Yeah, it was something about, you will never be seen again. We won't call your family, bang, bang, is how the sign went, something like that. And then there was also, looters will be shot on sight. You loot, we shoot, stuff like that. So there's also other ones like that as well that are out there. But yeah, that was one of the big ones, was the loot here, die here one. Oh, actually, while we're here, and since we're talking about with breaking pieces of shit, I called out Tom Wolf the other day on Twitter about some stuff. which was the following here, where I talked about crimes against humanity against his ass. So you had piece of shit Tom Wolf a few days ago sign a thing that said, sign an executive order to make sure out-of-state residents can seek abortion services here. We will decline requests from other states to issue expedition warrants for people who received or performed reproductive care in accordance with state law and the Constitution. To which my response was to him, I said, I hope you enjoy spending the rest of your days in an Ohio prison, you crimes against humanity, mass murdering piece of shit. For those that don't know, Tom Wolf should be in prison for two reasons for crimes against humanity. The first one being the fact that he mass murdered the elderly in 2020 in nursing homes by putting corona-infected people in with them. And the second thing is now he's mass murdering kids in the womb. So, and doing executive orders to do it is what it is. So, yeah, he definitely needs to be in minimum in prison for the rest of his life. If not, the last thing is of deprivation of law, which is death penalty. So, that doesn't surprise me. That doesn't surprise me at all. Like I said, dude, when you like that's one thing that's funny when I'm talking to people about like crimes and stuff like that, and it's like, yeah, we're like 99% sure that the guys that broke into my place last year were two white meth heads. So there you go, man. The guys that stole my rifle and shit. So it's like, yeah, it's not all black criminals, dude. It's just criminality across the board and people being allowed to let out on the fucking streets again. And then you wonder, like, when you incentivize lawlessness, like a California or Colorado or whatever, where it's, I don't know if it's the entirety of Colorado, if it's just the Denver area where it's like $600 to $650 and you don't even get a charge or whatever. And then California is like $950 worth of merchandise you can steal without getting a fucking any kind of charge is what it is, dude. And you have these people incentivizing criminality, whether it be governors or whatever the case be, state, local officials, whatever there. And then they wonder why you have criminality on the fucking rise then, dude. And when you have, like I said before, pieces of shit like Kamala Harris literally bail funding fucking rioters in 2020 and telling these people, oh, you're just going to slap on the wrist, dude. You're fine doing whatever the fuck you're going to do now. And then you wonder why they keep doing it. And you wonder why these fucking Democrat hell pockets that are all fucking, Democrat mayors and city councils are some of the worst places on earth in this fucking country, dude. And it's all these major cities. And then people wonder why I talk about creating fucking city states where it would be you have these fucking places walled the fuck off and they hold no power outside of them, dude. And it's like, good luck getting food imported into your fucking asses because you're going to have to be growing that shit inside of the fucking walls, baby. Or it'd be like that movie Doomsday where you're eating each other is what it is then. The whole Alex Jones eat your neighbors kind of thing would become legitimate at that point, dude. I'm going to have to eat my neighbors. That's such a fucking great rant, dude. It really fucking is. Because it was so spot on, is the whole point. It's sad too if you think about it with the cannibalism thing, dude. It will become a thing at some point if we do have like full blown grid down for long enough and shit. Not something I want to look forward to. And again, I'd most likely be one of the people that would be picked off and eaten pretty quickly, is what it is. But that'd be the case. If some bunch of fucking people are gonna eat my dead ass, like, okay, good for you, man. I hope I give you diarrhea, is what it is. I hope you have really bad heartburn after you eat me, is what it would be, man. So, again, I'm just making up the meth head thing. I don't know if that's actually true or not. We assume it. We know. Well, here's the thing. My fucking neighbor, he saw two dudes walking along a road real close to ours, is what it was. And he thinks it was them. And he said they looked pretty sketchy. And like I said, if it was the same two guys I saw back in May of last year, yeah, those guys look very like drug-ish. And I think they had to do with the guy up the street whose house was raided for drugs and money laundering then. And I wonder if it was to pay off a drug debt, honestly. And I've said people this past weekend actually about that whole thing. I think that's what it might be about, honestly. And that's why I'm surprised if it was with that dude, if they hadn't found it or whatever. So I wonder if it was something maybe where he owed something to somebody and these guys owed something to him, and he was like a middleman kind of guy, and it could be something where they handed it off to him pretty quick or whatever, and then he gave it to somebody else before he was raided. Then is what it was, because it would be like his fucking drug boss guy or whatever then, as like the head, kingpin or whatever it be then, and then who the hell knows who has it then after that the case then. So, but yeah, it sucks, and that's why I talked to Stolfus actually about introducing legislation in the state of Ohio to have it be some kind of a thing where if they haven't found your stuff within a year, you can file a claim with the state to basically reimburse you, and then the state would just, if they ever find it or whatever, they just take possession of the old one. That is what it would be, and you have the money to go buy another one then. Because my thing is, I just want I want my gun back at this point, but the thing is, like, not knowing who's had that gun for over a year now and what the fuck they've done with it, and if they could have scratched out the serial numbers and shit, dude, like, I don't know how about they've defiled that gun, And this is the thing, I am autistic. I kept a fucking round count of how many rounds went through that gun, so if I ever knew when it was going to break, whether it be a trigger or a hammer spring or something else like that, dude, or a fucking, like, bolt need to replace or some shit, I knew exactly what fucking round it was on when it happened. I have no idea what fucking round it's on right now, dude. Because at that time, it was about 3,000 to 4,000 rounds through that gun when it was taken. And like I said, it could be another 5,000 rounds through it by now at this point or more. But yeah, it just sucks. It really does. And unless, like the cops told me, they said unless that was using the commission of a crime and stuff like that, and it was basically a murder weapon at the time then, it would be taken by the state of Ohio, by the Ohio, I forget what the people are called now, like the not the BMV, whatever the hell Yoast office is that does all the crime stuff. It would be taken by those people into a lab, basically dusted for, fingerprints and ballistics testing and stuff like that. And it would basically become state property. And that's when they would reimburse me the cash is what it would be then. So, but not knowing if that's ever going to happen or not, and hoping and praying that it doesn't fucking happen, because God forbid, the fucking gun that I happen to have in my home that somebody broke in to steal becomes a fucking murder weapon at some point. Like, fuck, man. Now, granted, it's already been reported stolen and everything like that, so it's already a stolen weapon at this point, but still, it's like, I don't think I could live with myself with that thing, dude, because it would be a situation of, like, again, it goes back to those things of, if I had been home that day, how much different would things have been now, kind of thing. But again, who's to say I wouldn't have had to stand my ground that day, and fucking, then it becomes a whole thing where, because I can be civilly lawsuited by some fucking scumbag criminal's family, who's to say I wouldn't be facing 2 wrongful death lawsuits at this point or some shit over the whole thing. So I don't know, man. It's a shit show all the way around, but like I said, it sucks, man. It really fucking does. And it's not fun when you're having to think about things and realizing that, people are just scumbags. And when you realize that, people are just shit in some cases and will do anything to fuck you over and everything else like that. Yeah, it's just, it's a sad, sad situation. But like I said, man, it does suck though, because like I said, I think my neighbor actually basically heard them stealing it. He just didn't realize what was going on at the time. So yeah, it's a real shit show either way. And it does suck. It really does. It sucks a lot, dude. Because you have basically, like I said, like I've lived in this house for, with the exception of the couple years I lived in Columbus, the majority of my life, over 30 years. And to know that my entire home is now a crime scene for the rest of my life, it just sucks. That my bed and I sleeping on a nightly basis is a fucking crime scene. It makes you not get good sleep from time to time. And then maybe because of that, you say things off key or out of hand or whatever it is, and then people fucking try to defame you, is what it is after the fact. And yeah, it gets exhausting, and it gets mentally exhausting. And, having spent a year and a half of my life trying to do stuff to where I was trying to get constitutional carry passed in this state, it's a real fucking deal where it's really fucking hard to be able to go there and see current things and what people are doing and what have you. And then understanding, like, sometimes it's just a shit show, man. You know, I think I'm just rambling on at this point. I don't know. I'm like half paying attention because I'm actually trying to do something else right now that I just realized I was out of time on, and I think I fucked my thing. I think I fucked myself over on this whole thing because I don't think I actually did the last thing on this, which I should have been able to. It's whatever. Oh yeah, I didn't. Now that I think about it, because it was something that I was gonna try to do something out of here, but yeah, it didn't get done. So whatever. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Um. But yeah. Anyway. So the entire point I'm trying to make is yeah, some people in this country are just complete garbage, and bad guys and criminals and stuff like that will always be there, no matter what. They will always be there to fucking, get one over on the good guys, what it is that they can. And unfortunately, when you have bad people in offices and stuff like that and refusing to do their job properly and whatever else for that matter, it's not that hard to figure out, man, that people are just going to be scumbags. And when you're allowing scumbaggery to win out, essentially, people just finally snap. And then that's what starts revolutions and or civil conflicts or something else for that matter, balkanizations, whatever it is. Doesn't really matter. And I think that's what we're in the precipice of right now in this country is whether it be a balkanization event, whether it be a civil war revolution event, doesn't really matter, dude, a rebellion of some kind. I think people have just had it. Now, granted, that being said, and this is the one thing people never realize with the whole people talk about the 3% thing all the time when it comes to the original American Revolution and stuff like that. That whole 3% thing was a bunch of BS. It was more like 25 to 30% is what it was of the actual people at the time that were willing to rebel against tyrannical governments and stuff, dude. So, yeah, if you don't have that numbers now, dude, which I don't think we do, you're not going to win the whole thing, dude. And I think, honestly, with the way things are going right now, a tax revolt might be able to work. Everybody just stops paying taxes entirely. Now, granted, that being said, they probably just be like money print or go burr, or whatever the case being, doesn't really matter anyway. But, again, it would be a symbolic statement at that point, mass noncompliance and shit like that. So maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. But at least then it's nonviolent, And I think that's the biggest thing. There's a bunch of people that will never admit that what they really want is violence. My thing is, though, that is the last thing I actually want, dude, for real. I'd much rather have it never lead to violence and be able to be something where it would just be civil disobedience, non-violently, like Martin Luther King style and stuff like that, kind of sit-ins and shit. And maybe that makes real change and actually works. Maybe it doesn't. But if it came to a point where it had to be violence and that was the only and final solution and stuff like that kind of deal, so be it then, is what it is. But again, I would never like to come to that, is what it is. And I think, unfortunately, too many people, they're hoping and praying that does come to that. Whether it be a government hoping and praying it comes to that because they want it to come to that so they can justify the mass murdering of Americans through democide and stuff like that. Or whether it be, the other side of things where people are just fucking fed up and sick and tired of it and they're just, want to basically take out a bunch of politicians and stuff like that or whatever it is, dude. And by the way, I do not in any way, shape, or form condone that kind of shit, dude. What those fucking guys supposedly tried to do against Gretchen Whitmer was way out of fucking hand, dude. Now, granted, a lot of those dudes that were behind that were a bunch of Fed boy informants and stuff like that, and a couple guys they got were autistic fucks and shit, dude. But again, those guys were stupid enough to even go and be part of it to begin with, so that was on them entirely. And if that means they're going to go do some time right now, that's, again, tough shit, bro, kind of thing. You shouldn't have been part of it. But anyway, yeah, that's pretty much where we're at for the day, though. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I will see you all in the next one.